Hey
I just got annoyed reading Making a Murderer Lawyer Wants New Trial for Stephen A. Can we get this guy out of our lives?
Get him out of jail, you mean?
I don't mean Brendan Dassey. I mean, I get the obsession with him. But enough with this Stephen Avery. He's a creep.
We're going to get him out.
Ugh.
We're going to get him out. You can't go to jail for life for setting a cat on fire. I mean,
true.
you can go to jail for murdering Teresa Hallback.
Yeah, you can. That's definitely one you can go to jail for.
You can't go to jail for setting a cat on fire. A lawyer on Wednesday asked for a new trial for a Wisconsin man. It's like this is just some article.
Yeah.
Convicted in a case profiled in the Making a Murderer Netflix series. Stephen Avery's conviction was based on planted evidence and false testimony. I know about that stuff. I saw that stuff in the OJ show. Attorney Kathleen Zellner says in a 1,272-page document that she filed.
Jesus.
This is the brilliance of lawyers. Nobody wants to read a 1,300-page
and they know that
document, so they're like, yeah, okay, just give him another trial. I'm not trying to look through every single page.
You wonder if they do. That's why shit takes so long. Like,
yeah.
Do they actually look through all of it? In a case like this, they probably will, because they have to.
Well, yeah, I don't think you can throw out a guy's murder conviction because you don't feel like reading it.
Yeah.
I think that lawyers are probably trying it because why not?
True.
Why make it easy? Like it doesn't benefit any of the lawyers to make it easy. So they're hoping that the judges just get lazy. But I don't think that you can afford legally, especially in a case like. Can you imagine the profile on this case if it were to be reopened? It won't be. No. But I can't imagine the profile, how big it will be.
Do you think they split up the reading? You take page 1 to 200?
Yeah, except they're not like she goes, I'll take page 1 to 200, and then you are my assistant, so you will take page 201 through 1,272. You take the last 1,070 pages, and I'll take the first 200. Deal? She contends that Avery deserves a new trial in the interest of justice because the real controversy was never tried. I think that's right. That's how Johnny Cochran got OJ off.
Yeah.
You just need to plant enough doubt. She probably watched the OJ show is what happened. She probably watched it a couple times and then realized if we can get a jury that's pissed off, and that's how it works every time. Like the greatest thing that happened for the defense in the OJ case was the jury. Number one, they got a jury that was almost the majority was sympathetic black jurors.
Right.
But also that they kept them there for a year. They were infuriated. They all wanted to go home.
They just wanted to get out of there, so they make it like they don't want to start deliberating. Now they can control how long they're there for. Even though they handed that verdict over. That was basically
the defense. I mean the prosecution.
The prosecution. They both made a critical error. Mark Furman was her mistake, and the glove was his mistake.
That's right. Chris Darden and Marsha Clark both made mistakes.
They were terrible,
and they didn't hook up. That was the third mistake that they made.
That was the major mistake they made. If they fucked, they might have been better at their jobs.
I think so.
They blew it.
Although Marsha Clark gave him the opening, and he dropped the ball in terms of hooking up. I mean.
They really blew it.
Chris Darden had his shot. He did not take it. I saw it on the show.
He didn't want it.
He wanted it. I saw the show. He wanted it.
I heard they were having an affair, and the show just didn't go into it. That was what I heard.
I saw on a...
I wonder if Marsha Clark ever fucked OJ.
I don't think so. It could have happened.
You never know.
You don't know.
I wonder if she fucked Cochran. She acted like she wanted to. They said a lot of black jurors didn't like that.
Who didn't want
the women
fuck
didn't
Johnny
like
Cochran?
that. Yeah.
He's a charming guy, you know.
I'm guessing Robert Shapiro didn't.
He was fucked by Johnny Cochran. Yeah. There was an interview that Chris Darden did, because after I watched the OJ show, my ritual is that I start going on YouTube and finding all the real stuff. And there was a interview that Chris Darden did on Oprah. And Oprah asked him straight up, because that was a problem. In his book, he alluded to the fact that there was sexual tension.
Yeah.
But he never actually said that they hooked up. And Oprah asked him point blank, like, did you guys hook up? Or and he would he danced around the question. So he goes, did you find Marsha Clark attractive? And Chris Darden goes, I don't think there's a man in America who didn't. I was like, what?
Wow, you're really misreading every man in America.
Chris, this is why you guys didn't pick a jury well. Your gauge is way off.
Yeah, he really is not a perceptive individual.
No.
I didn't find her attractive at all.
That was the whole thing. Like, the newspapers just made fun of her hair the whole time.
Yeah, she wasn't attractive.
No,
Her
unfortunately
personality
not.
wasn't sexy.
No. Apparently, she's a good time outside the courtroom.
I don't think there's a man in America who... What?
It's wrong.
Are you stupid?
It's incorrect.
She looks better now, actually, than she did back then.
Yeah. That's because she went through hell, though. Now she's got to be like, she got beaten into figuring out how to present herself for the media.
Actually, let me see back then. You know what? There were times where I would have banged Marcia Clark.
In that photo, would you?
No, I don't like the thing on her lip, and I don't like her hair. She has hair like the last American hero, or like
the greatest American hero.
Yeah. I don't like it.
Believe it or not,
Oh, my
I'm
God.
not guilty.
Oh, that perm was fucking abominable.
It was bad. She did. She looked like Soul Glow from Coming to America.
That was terrible.
There's poor choices all around. A lot of poor choices by the prosecution in the OJ case.
Was the perm the new haircut? She looks good there, and the second one down, I'd fuck her in that one.
This one, yeah.
Yeah, I'd bang her there.
That's Sarah Paulson.
Yeah, that's the
Oh, is that really?
Of course.
There you go.
Sarah Paulson is a good-looking woman.
She really looked like her. Okay, yeah, she looked like Marcia Clark, but better. There you
Yeah,
go.
no, I'd be intimate
That's
with Sarah
funny.
Paulson in it. I would be happy to have sex with Sarah Paulson in a Marcia Clark wig.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah, no problem there.
Yeah, I know that. I have to say, I'm not a big Marcia Clark. I'm not necessarily attracted to her.
That was my favorite scene in the whole OJ show, because I believe it really happened, is when Marcia Clark went to the 7-Eleven or whatever to pick up groceries, and they're scanning her items, and the cashier, scans tampons, and then he goes, "Oh, looks like it's going to be a tough day for the defense." And she's just humiliated.
That's hilarious.
I know. I think it really, because who would make that up? I think that happened.
Absolutely. That's a really funny thing to say.
I like to believe that happened, and the guy was, but the guy, the character on the show, his vibe was not like, haha, gotcha. It was like, I'm just being charming. Like, this is just a fun thing that a man would say to a woman.
Something a charming guy says to a lady.
Yeah. So that's the type of prosecution that Stephen Avery needs, because if you can find the right jury and you can find the right prosecution, you can do what they did in Making a Murderer and present this case where it's just, I don't know.
I don't know about that at this point with him. There's so much stuff on him that we didn't see. None of this is new.
Yeah, but
this
nobody
is all
believes
stuff.
Ken Kratz.
This is all. They believed him in the first trial.
That's what I mean.
Overwhelming.
Now that all this is public, you have to go out of. If you can get out of that small town and just find people that watch the Netflix documentary, I don't care how long the trial is, you're not going to convince them.
I think people who watch the Netflix documentary would watch this trial and see the real evidence and go, oh, just like people did in real life. You'll hear a guy up there saying, look, this is the physical evidence. Believe me, he's not getting off.
That's what the prosecution thought in OJ, too.
There's a difference. There's a racial component there. There was a racial component here that does not exist here.
Yeah.
Had they didn't move it out of L.A. County. Maybe they couldn't have, but they didn't even try.
No,
they stunk. The L.A. prosecutors stink. That's why they lost that case.
It was really bad.
Yeah,
it was really, really bad. That was the saddest part. At the end, it was going over what happened to everybody's career. Robert Shapiro is still doing pretty well.
Shapiro is doing well, and Barry Scheck is actually involved with a group that I'd love to be involved with, which is people who get they get falsely convicted people.
The Innocence Project?
The Innocence Project, but they're not like technically innocent. They're people who literally didn't commit the crime, and DNA can.
That's how Stephen Avery got
them.
The innocence that they were on Stephen Avery's side for the rape case.
At first they were, yeah,
for the rape case.
Yeah, absolutely. And he should have gotten out for that. He didn't do it.
Yes.
I agree with the Innocence Project.
But then, if you go to jail for rape when you didn't rape, and then you get out, you shouldn't murder after.
It's probably not tactically a good move.
It's terrible, yeah.
But he's an anomaly. But then again, I didn't want to help somebody who was a convicted assault or armed robber, and then had gone to jail for something else. But the guy was still a piece of shit. I don't want to help a guy who's a piece of shit because who just finally got caught on on something he didn't do.
Because the specific sentence isn't right.
Yeah, but he's a piece of shit overall.
Right. Right.
Like I don't want to free a child molester because he was falsely convicted of speeding.
Right. Yeah, he was touching a kid in the car, but the point is he was going 40 miles an hour.
Absolutely. He never jerked a kid off while he was doing more than 35 miles an hour, ever.
Yeah, Your Honor, have you tried to speed while jerking off a child?
It's impossible.
You can't get done.
And you see the judge's head nodding, so he understands. He gets it. He's nodding.
Yeah, the judge.
He's convicting.
He's convicting.
He catches himself in an off moment. They ask him that question. The judge goes, "Yeah, I guess that's true." What? Why would you? Why? What?
I don't know what tweet.
Jim's more of an ends justify the means kind of guy.
Right. Like karma. Karma comes back around.
Karma Kramer.
Yeah, Jim's a bit of a karma chameleon.
Why is this person? What was the tweet? Do you know the tweet?
What are you talking about?
Bob, it's the woman who Kathleen Zellner. What was her tweet?
Whose tweet?
Kathleen Zellner's tweet.
The attorney that is bringing Stephen Avery's case back?
Yeah, Bob, are you here in New Jersey?
I'm here.
What are you talking about with the tweet?
So she filed a 1,000-page document yesterday in the court that she identified who Teresa Hallback's killer was.
Who was it? What page is it on?
It's the boyfriend.
Okay, I think we...
Wait, she said that in a tweet? No, she didn't.
She said that in the tweet. Go ahead and pull up her Twitter page.
Okay, it says in Wednesday's filing...
Okay, thank you, Bob. If you're right, I'll apologize.
Zellner contends that Avery's trial attorney failed to prove that evidence had been planted because they lacked experts and they did not conduct a thorough investigation. She also maintains that a spare key for Hallback's sports utility vehicle, that's how she got to 1,200 pages. She did things like sports utility vehicle instead of just SUV or car.
Right.
He is really, 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 really innocent. That the sports utility vehicle key found in Avery's bedroom was planted by sheriff's deputies. Officers involved in the case have denied any misconduct. She says because the state did not need to establish motive, it did not spend any time trying to figure out why Miss Hallback was murdered. Both Mr. Avery and Miss Hallback are victims of a justice system whose success depends upon the integrity, competence, and devotion of judges, law enforcement, prosecutors, and defense attorneys. Both Ms. Hallback and Mr. Avery have yet to receive justice. So that's what she's trying to paint this in a way that's positive towards the victim.
Yeah, how does she explain all this stuff? And stop it.
Planted.
Just fucking stop it.
She saw the movie.
Ugh.
She saw all.
Yeah, the
10
cops
parts.
planted all pieces of her body in her cell phone. Shut up.
She even watched the episodes after they finished the trial.
Right, exactly. And a lot of people tapped out at episode 8.
Did they?
But she watched 9 and 10.
They probably could have done that in 8 or 9 episodes. It was a bit more.
Well, they did, and then there was just 2 episodes of shit.
Yeah. They found that the verdict was found. It was episode 8. And they were he's going to jail. And I was like, oh, I'll keep watching because he must get out of jail. And they were like, no, these 2 episodes are just postludes.
Did you see The Keeper? The Keeper?
I haven't yet.
It's very good. It's very good. I also saw Mommy Dead and Dearest.
Yeah.
Or Dearest and Dead, whatever it is.
Mommy Dead and Dearest.
Yeah, that was really good. That's
great,
a one-off. It's a 1 episode.
Mommy Dead and Dearest is just a traditional, it's like a 2-hour, 90-minute, whatever it is, documentary.
Yeah, it's about Munchausen by proxy. And
that really fucked up that girl, huh?
what a fucking hateable cunt her mother is or was. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it's crazy because you see this daughter who is in jail because, as we've talked about, she was a victim of Munchausen, and the mom was convincing her that she was sick all the time and basically treating her like she was a baby all her life, like she was just a tiny child who was dependent on the mom. And now she's in jail for being an accomplice to the murder. And she's doing an interview for this movie, and she's wearing jail stripes and everything.
She looks like a fucking like she's in a 1950s movie about jail.
Yeah,
the way they dressed her.
Yeah, but she still speaks like a child, like she's an adult.
She's better now, though. When you look at video of her over the course of her life.
Yeah,
her mother. Again, I've bashed mental illness before. We all have a certain tinge of it, but there are so many mentally ill people that just they're beyond hateable. Because there's no way you're that mentally ill that you don't know that you're fucking your kid up. There's no way you're that sick. If you know enough to lie and cover it, then you know enough to not do it.
It's like the insanity test, right?
Mentally ill people, like again, if you go to a grocery store and hit a lady with a hammer and sit there and just keep hitting her with the hammer, and the police come and you go, what's wrong? You're fucked up. You're mentally ill. But if you know to cover your lies and to go, no, I did, and you have little signals you send your daughter when she says the wrong thing, you're manipulative.
Especially because if Munchausen syndrome, what this mom was doing in the Mommy Dead and Dearest documentary was such a long-term con. Like if you're bipolar and you have manic episodes, then I can see, it's still infuriating. But
God, is it?
I can see the idea that like you lose your mind temporarily, you do things, and then you realize later they were wrong, but you were in a manic episode.
Yeah, it's more of a chemical thing.
Yeah.
Right.
But this thing is like so over the course of 15 years.
Yeah, and it's a lie, and it's conscious, and it's selfish. And people are like, how come you talk about this? The selfishness part of mental illness. Like, I know that they're crazy, but the selfishness part of it is a part that is never talked about enough, or it's not harped on enough, and it's just part of their sickness. It's like, nah, you got to go fuck you because you're selfish too. There's a selfishness to it, a self-centeredness to it. That's what makes me so angry. Yeah, and they can't help it. The woman who just got sentenced in this Newtown case to 5 months for threatening one of the victims' families. Sending death threats to this 6-year-old kid who's murdered. She's apologized for it and said she was wrong. But
well, I'm glad she's seen the error of her ways.
Yeah, but that type of mental illness, that's just a narcissism and a self-centeredness. These people that would actually call a victim's family.
You could not do that.
Of course you could not do it.
Right.
Of course you could not do it.
Right.
And the punishments for it are not harsh enough.
But what happens is, the punishment should be harsher, because what happens is there are people with a real uncontrollable mental illness, and I think that's a much smaller percentage.
Much smaller.
But we see people look at that as an excuse. Like, if they have this excuse because it was a chemical imbalance or whatever it was, then I can get away with doing this just because I have a fit of rage, which is different.
Part of me, I know it's sick, but that Canada is so embarrassing, releasing that guy who beheaded a passenger because he didn't take his medication. A part of me wants to see him reoffend. I know that sounds really fucking shitty, but it's just an example of how bad their judicial system is.
Just to prove...
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to see another person get hurt. That's the only reason it's kind of hard to wish for that. But it's such a stupid thing to think, well, he'll take his medicine now, and totally disregard the fact that there was a guy on that bus who had his throat sawed through. Right. And his head lopped off. I mean, if you're crazy, you still have nothing to offer the rest of us. Yeah. If you're that nuts, even if you couldn't help it, you still have nothing to bring to the table that the rest of us need.
If the crime is that severe...
Yeah, you're fucked up.
You should either spend your life in a mental institution or a jail. One or the other. No more sidewalks, buses, taxi cabs.
No.
None of that stuff for you. No shared space. Me and you do not need to share space anymore.
Send him to the funny farm.
That's it. Put him in a straitjacket.
I want to now before the show, I came in and Travis and you had on the screen the racist tantrum inside the Sears in New Brunswick.
Speaking of mental illness, and
racism, which we're talking about. I have not seen this, so I want to see it. I like to see these things live.
And in the flesh?
Yeah, I prefer to see them for the first time while we're on the air.
So what happened was this woman was in Sears in New Brunswick, and they do those coupons where you get whatever it is, 10%, 40%, doesn't matter, off an item, but you can use the coupon as much as possible.
Right.
It's not like one coupon per customer. So she's in line waiting, and this I guess family of Hispanic people are using the coupon over and over again. So for every item, it's a separate transaction.
Yeah.
So they can keep using the coupon, which is
enraging.
It's enraging, but it's what the coupon's designed to do.
I understand that, but when you're waiting in line, it's enraging. It's enraging to watch something that's slow.
You know, like when people do 10 separate transactions?
Oh my fucking! Because again, it's another, but then again, you have to see these people probably might not be able to afford, so the coupon might really be important to them.
Yeah,
so there is that part of it.
You could make the argument that just go to the back of the line and do your next transaction.
Well, you could make that, but they won't, because people, again, the narcissism of people is, I'm doing what I want to do and I don't give a fuck. That's why road rage.
I agree.
That's why road rage is what it is. It's not the fact that a guy is going slow, it's that he doesn't give a shit that he's affecting other people. That's why we hate people on the road.
I don't think this is narcissism to use a coupon.
No, I don't. But if you're taking 10 minutes to make a transaction, you're annoying.
Yeah, it's annoying, but I don't you could blame the policy. I wouldn't blame the customer.
I think it's. I agree with Jim. If there's a long line like there is in this video, and you're sitting there saying, I need to make 10 separate transactions so I can make use of this coupon 10 times, instead of just doing one and then maybe going to the back of the line and then doing another. There's a level of narcissism.
Who's
here.
going to the back of the line voluntarily?
Exactly. It's narcissism.
I'm not going to the back of the line. I'm trying to get my 10% per item.
But what they ought to do is figure out a way for them to do it where you don't have to do 10 separate transactions.
Right, because technically they're not doing anything wrong.
Right.
Here's the way to do it. Give a coupon for 10% off your purchase, not per item. And then everything is solved. It's completely, or say you can only use this coupon one per transaction.
Yeah.
That's what they do. It says limit one per transaction, so you do 10 transactions.
Right, but then why are they letting them do 10 transactions on the line? They should say get to the back of the line.
That's
one
what
transaction.
I totally blame the policy. If I'm not sitting there as a customer. This isn't a community. I'm not sitting there making sure that everybody's thing is possible. If I really need that 10% off per item, fuck it.
And that argument, you'll see that argument in the video. One of the workers is like, "Look, this is corporate. There's nothing we can do about it."
Right.
Yeah. All right, let's see it.
No, you got to take one order and go back to the line.
Oh.
There's nothing wrong. We are customers as well as we are.
Come on. I mean, this is one order at a time you take. That's not one order because you're getting a $10 coupon and staying there again and another $10 coupon. Place. Send them back to their own fucking country.
Pause for a second.
What an asshole. You blew it, lady.
Yeah, because I can get with the argument. I'm just arguing to argue, but I can get with the argument of moving to the back of the line. I'm not offended by that premise. But, I mean, it's one thing to go to the back.
So you were with her?
I think, okay, yeah, I probably wouldn't create a scene in Sears.
Right.
I'm not at that place in my life right now. But I could see being when she goes no, it's one per transaction, you should move to the end of the line. I'm like, yeah, now that I think about it, that's a good alternative. And then when she goes, and also move back to your own country.
So she lost you at one point?
Yeah, that's where I go, I don't know that does any good.
It doesn't help you, and it just makes you look
policy.
stupid.
Yeah, it makes me feel like maybe her problem wasn't just with this one coupon transaction.
Because this is something an American, I don't know if this person's American, but if you're born, this is something someone born in America would do, to make 10 purchases. This is zero.
It's not an immigrant.
No.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is something a selfish person does, regardless of where they're from.
I'm gonna take a guess. The woman sounds like she may be an old Italian woman. That would be my guess. She's from New Jersey.
Yeah.
That's what the accent sounds like to me.
Send them back to their own fucking country.
Oh, God.
Ridiculous.
She's looking for a manager.
I have an issue right here. They're taking coupons out of the register and reusing them, standing there holding up this line like this. You got nobody over here. They shouldn't be doing this. 10 different orders. Come on.
She's completely wrong.
Well, I don't have to understand these people shooting in the back of the line. After I buy something.
Okay.
It's between you and me.
Yeah, you got an Indian waiting on an Indian. That's what it is.
Okay, that's it.
What did she say?
She said, so the manager is saying or this guy is saying, we're a little understaffed, blah, blah, blah. So the problem is there's not enough cashiers. Okay. And I can see being mad about that. Well,
Yeah,
it's not
my
fault.
problem.
If there's all these people buying shit, you should be paying money towards staff. But instead of pointing that out, she said the real problem here is you've got an Indian waiting on an Indian. Thinking that
that's what the problem is.
There's a racial divide. There's an Indian cashier,
Like a camaraderie between the Indians,
right?
Oh.
The Indian is just looking for other Indian customers
And
to
say,
serve.
let's fuck this woman's day up.
Right.
Here's what the problem is right now, and this woman may be a racist. She may not.
Probably.
But here's what I'm saying.
I would say
when you're that angry, you want things to move, and you're not getting resolution. If it was you got a tall guy waiting on a short lady, whatever she could have grabbed, that was the most obvious thing. But whatever she could have grabbed, she would have grabbed. She's so angry, and there's no resolution.
I've been angry, very angry in the past. I've never thought to myself, well, just go back to your own fucking country then. It's never, even in anger, that doesn't occur to me.
Oh, I've thought horrible things. Oh my God! Yeah, I don't say them. I wouldn't blurt it out in a store.
Yeah, and then to keep going on that line of thought.
But I have thought awful, irrational, ugly things like that. But then I know what they are when I'm done. So that was just me being a cunt because I was in a hurry. And when there was no resolution, it's almost like if you keep hitting somebody and they're not falling, then you start kicking them, you start biting them, anything to get through. And she just wasn't getting her resolution.
This is at Sears.
Yeah.
Like, this probably isn't like, oh my God, once in a lifetime I brought up race when I got angry. Like,
she may be a racist, but I'm not saying that doesn't necessarily make her one.
If it happened at Sears, it probably, happens every now and then.
My favorite part of this whole video is the very beginning when this guy who we never hear from again in the entire video just nonsensically says, drain the swamp already. Like, it has nothing to do with anything.
Oh, the guy making the video says it?
No, some other guy.
Right. No, the guy making the video. Yeah, it would be really funny if the guy making the video said it, because he was just posting it to be like, finally, somebody says what's going on around here. Like, like the woman that we watched yesterday who thought that the cop was being filmed, not her in her Philly accent, being a bitch. If the guy filming it was like, see, this is a video of Sears coupon policy. And they're like, no, the racist, the lady she's shouting racial things.
So she said, send in her card, you're an Indian, wait on India. All right, let's see what else she said. Let's see if she digs herself out of this.
Let's see. I think she might.
It's between you and me. Yeah, you got an Indian waiting on an Indian. That's what it is.
That's what
They're not Indian shit.
They're not Indian.
I don't know what the hell they are. You said
okay.
We ain't nothing to do.
But I don't know what the hell they are.
Yeah, she is an old cunt, obviously, but
yeah, a little bit.
And then there's Asian people in front of her. It's like there's not all white people in the store.
No. Although, I bet those Asian people are getting very frustrated because the Asian cashier hasn't been back in a while. So they must have just been sitting on that line forever. Because the racial divide at Sears is real.
I don't even want this shit.
Anything. It has nothing to do with anything.
Unfortunately, our hands are tied as a corporate. It doesn't work with us.
Yeah, well, I never heard this before in my life.
That's becoming the norm nowadays, unfortunately, in America.
Yeah, well, they shouldn't be here if they don't know how to work online. All they know is he's getting coupons out of...
Technically, they shouldn't be here if they don't know how to work online. She's right. But what they should have done is thrown her out of the store. An Indian waiting, if she's being like that, just say, get out of the store.
Or just take the fucking clothes, whatever you want to buy from Sears. Just take it and go. Just go. You win the day. You get the free fucking bras or whatever.
Throw her out. Put the shit down and get out. Get the fuck out. Like, they don't throw customers out. You can throw someone out for being racially
racist?
nasty. Yeah, for being loud like that and nasty. Yeah, you can. Of course you can.
Sure, don't they have the right to refuse service to anyone?
What the fuck is going on? You don't use the right to reserve to not serve Indians.
Are you surprised that happened at the New Brunswick Sears?
Yeah, I mean, that's not you figure that's not like the bastion of whiteness, the New Brunswick Sears.
That's true.
Yeah, but there's probably... I bet she and her friends have noticed that New Brunswick is not the bastion of whiteness either. And
that it used to be.
They're probably not super satisfied with the racial makeup of their community. They probably have their own theories about why certain problems happen in New Brunswick.
I wouldn't call it a racist rant, but that was just, her being a kind of a bit of an old twat.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
You got an Indian waiting on an Indian.
Yeah, I wish we could be honest like that. Like, here's an old twat in Sears. Like, that's all it is. Just a nasty woman. It's not a bigger story about, like, look at what's going on in America. It's just like, here's a nasty woman that we got on film.
Yeah.
And the reason that this wasn't happening before was because everybody didn't have cell phone cameras.
Although the nasty woman, her beef was correct. That's a shitty way for them to do business. To have one cashier in a Sears and some fucking asshole making purchase after purchase after... Fuck you.
I hate to play psychologist, but I don't think that was her real beef. I think there's a deep-seated beef that might have been brought to the surface by an extra long wait online.
Possibly.
I think that her beef was more about what started arising very quickly.
I don't know.
After her line.
It might be, but it's also a lot of times that shit brings out ugly stuff in people when you're so frustrated and you're not getting resolution and you don't know how to handle that well. Some people just don't handle that stuff well. That's why people get punched in the face all the time, because they don't handle these moments well. That's why people have violent episodes.
Yeah.
Like if she was 6'5" and a construction worker, she might not have said that. She might have taken something and thrown it at them. Or she might have fucking thrown something through the window or punched the manager in the face and walked out. Who knows?
I guess, but I think that
it might be.
Yeah,
it might be.
She went real quick to it.
I don't know how long she was on the line for.
Probably. Look, everybody else online was calm enough that it probably wasn't that long. Like, it's not like it was a store of outraged customers. It was one lady losing her mind because she saw some people who looked a little different than her.
And a guy that wanted to get in on the action.
And that's true. That's true. I'm sorry. There was one other guy.
Drain the swamp.
I shouldn't. I'm painting.
Let me hear the guy say "drain the swamp."
It doesn't even apply to the situation.
No.
You don't think he? Oh, Jesus Christ, Troy! Do you think we want to watch a video about Facebook and Zuckerberg?
Oh, good for them.
Like, Troy, like, I know you like Facebook, but we don't all want to hear about the news about Zuckerberg. We're talking about Sears right now. You know?
What do you want me to do? You see what's going on.
Troy is like, here's a great example of somebody who's in a multi-ethnic marriage. Mark Zuckerberg.
Did you hear the big laugh coming out of there?
Yeah.
And when you realized
They were both laughing.
they laughed at Troy?
They laughed at Troy. They thought it was funny.
In Troy's defense, though, Anthony laughed at everything.
Yeah, well. Yeah.
No, but even the new intern seemed very happy at Troy's mistake.
Yeah, of course, because the new intern's like, why would anybody want to watch a video about Facebook? What the hell is this? The guys are maybe reload the page.
Yeah, just refresh, just F5.
Yeah, do you think this is the computer?
This is more operator error. This is in this instance. I'm not gonna make a generalized picture of Troy's work habits, but in this instance, I'm gonna say operator error.
You clearly see what's going on. There's a spinning wheel on the screen.
That's true.
Yeah,
no, it's not there. It's right there.
Spinning wheel between your ears.
There you go.
That's the problem.
Take one water and go back to the line.
There's nothing wrong. We are customers
drain the
as well
swamp.
I mean, this is one water at a time.
That's the first time I didn't notice that guy in the beginning. Let's drain the swamp.
Stupid.
Maybe because that was before she must. You know what? Here's what happened. I figured it out because she on video hasn't started being racial yet when that guy says drain the swamp. So you know she and that guy were basically just having their racist flirting with each other as the cashier were going. They were like, you know what the problem is? It's all these Mexicans and all their purchases. That's what we need to drain the swamp. So the minute she starts saying, I'm going to complain about this. So she starts talking about the coupons and he missed his cue. He didn't realize that we're not talking about race yet. So he just goes, yeah, drain the swamp.
He's Leroy Jenkins.
Exactly.
Let me hear him say it again.
Like, we're talking about coupons, bro.
They just want fast service.
No, you got to take one water and go back to the line.
There's nothing wrong. We are customers
drain the
as well
swamp.
Drain the swamp. Hurry up. We're talking about draining the swamp, and you talk about coupons?
Is that the guy right there with the black shirt who's making the purchases?
No, that's the cashier.
That's the cashier, the one that's in cahoots with the people making the purchase.
Who are the people making the purchase?
I think it's this woman, right? Hang on.
Yeah, it's them with. You can see him in the that woman right there.
Oh, is that her?
The Indian.
There is.
Yeah, I think they look Hispanic to me, but I guess because they're both brown skinned, the woman said Indian. They're all Indian. Well, no, they said they weren't.
Oh.
Yeah, they were like, it's not what? No, that's not what's happening.
It's an Indian helping an Indian.
Yeah, I see it. I see what's going on here. All the Indians stick together.
Oh, lady. This is stupid. Yeah. Just put your shit down and leave. Like, I get being annoyed, but you just got to go.
She's also miscued with her racism. If she's trying to be like mad, nobody's sitting there being like, when are all the Indians going to get back to India? We got to build a wall between America and India.
Even though that lady is an asshole. She is an asshole. Sears does stink for not having more than one cashier.
That happens all the time, though.
I know.
I go into Walmart, there's like lines, and there's one cashier.
It's like get more people. CVS is great because they have those automatic checkouts now. I fucking love those.
Yeah, I'm not using those.
They're amazing.
Yeah, but there's going to be no more cashiers. I'm not using
Good.
automatic.
What do you want cashiers for? I mean, no offense to cashiers, but
it's what people have jobs.
You don't use self-checkout?
No, I never use self-checkout ever. I've literally never used it once.
I love it.
You'd rather stand in a line instead of...
I always stand in a line instead. And it just doesn't think it's rational either. Well, most of the things are tollless now anyway, so yeah.
But recently they have been. They've always had a couple of people.
I'll tell you, I did stop using EasyPass for a while because my EasyPass ran out, and I stopped using it altogether and started using the cash lanes.
But you're so OCD and cheap. I'm surprised because that costs you more money.
That occurred to me. That I do like that Easy Pass is a little bit cheaper.
And also, you're going to, if there's less cashiers, there'll be more people employed to do other things in the store. Like
That's not the way it works.
Well, then they have to
Why would you employ more people if you're like, oh, we can have less people working
meaning
here?
the employees that are there can do other stuff. There's other stuff that needs to be done in the store that probably doesn't get done.
No, what? It's a business. They'll go like, we don't have to pay these people to do this anymore.
In some cases, yeah.
So we'll not do that.
But that's technology.
That's like what McDonald's did.
So how come you don't walk to work because you're putting rickshaw drivers out of work? Or why do you take?
There's no rickshaw driver that can go 30 miles.
No, but there is in the city. You don't have to take the train. You could always hire a guy. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, you can hire homeless people to use the rickshaw. Yeah. Although you run the risk of them taking it.
They have those bikes that ride around. Guys ride around in those bikes. I'm not worried about people.
I don't want to get kidnapped.
I'm not worried about people. And like this is going to cut jobs.
So Jess gets annoyed that you don't use self-checkout.
She thinks it's so stupid.
She's right.
Because I complain every time we go to the mall because they don't have, all the malls now have those ticket systems, so they don't have people lifting up the gate anymore. I'm like, there's no way that the people who worked in toll booths and cashiers and ticket takers at the mall are going to be like, oh, I'll just get a new job working in electronics.
Too bad.
They don't know how to code.
Do you know those fucking mall?
I'm trying to lift gates.
Do you know those people who do the tolls? How fucking bad they made traffic because they were slow. And I told you they were never friendly. I hated them.
They're miserable.
Miserable, making all that money.
Except Toll Booth Willie. He just got made fun of all the time. Of course he's going to be miserable.
Fucking beat it. Electronic everything. I'm happy with it. I don't want those people to be unemployed.
Yeah. Well, wait till there's electronic comedians. Then we'll talk.
There already are.
No.
Don't you like it when we tell jokes?
No, I paid to see a human comic.
Well, you've got me. Ha ha. Boy, did you hear what the president said? He is stupid. I was programmed by a liberal.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, that works in the comic community. No. Yeah, Jess gets annoyed because I never, ever, 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 ever use self-checkout.
She's right. Jess needs to put her foot down sometimes and go, this is how we're going to do it.
Yeah, well, what she gets reminded of is she's the woman. Okay?
That's good. That's true.
There'll be no putting the...
That is true.
Put your foot down all you want, but you better put your foot down in the kitchen and cook dinner.
That's
you know
true.
what I'm
In
saying?
a high heel.
That's right.
In a high heel.
That's right. You put that stiletto down. Yeah, I was just waiting online at Walmart the other day. It was terrible. It took forever.
I don't know why you do it. You're not compassionate enough to care about the cashier jobs.
Yeah, you don't like anyone.
You don't give a shit about
I don't
that.
like people, but
So what is it? I don't believe that you care. Because first of all, prices are higher the more benefits they have to pay. So again, you're paying more money for that cashier. And you're not compassionate, so it's not that.
It's not. I don't care about individuals having jobs, but I think in a general sense, there has to be jobs.
There are jobs, yeah.
And if we take jobs, I just don't think it makes sense to take jobs away on that level. Like technology, I'm not against technology, obviously, but we're not using technology for good stuff. We're not using.
Love technology.
That is for good stuff.
I still love technology.
That is for good stuff. Self-checkout, there's going to be eventually...
Who gives a fuck about self-checkout? They're not. They haven't figured out how to...
Eventually there's going to be employee...
Power cars without gas.
There's going to be...
And we got self-checkout.
There's going to be employee... Yeah, but there's not one guy working on two projects making a decision. There's different people working on all of them.
Here's what's going on.
There's going to be eventually employee-less stores. Like where they come in and do shelves
That's
or whatever.
my point.
Amazon's got one already.
It's terrible.
What's wrong with it?
It's good. Then you need people... Here's what's happening. Right, so that's what that's why I was against these protests in New York for bringing minimum wage up, because exactly what I thought was going to happen, which is McDonald's started developing iPads that take your orders so that they don't have to pay people the higher minimum wage.
It's also
Which, by the way,
faster and easier.
those suck. No, it's not faster and easier. It takes forever to go through the different options. You're just telling a woman, I want a cheeseburger with no onions.
Yeah, hold the fucking mayo on my chicken sandwich.
Okay,
versus
this is
like
the first
finding
step.
versus like finding where the selection is to get it took me like 10 minutes to do an order once. I've only used it once, and the order didn't even go through, and I had to go to a cache to place my order.
The next step, you're right. There's going to be a problem, but the next step will be this: when the technology is a little better, will be give me a Big Mac, and you'll say it into your thing, and then you'll walk up and it'll be there.
Yeah, I mean they've already hit the next step. There's at Chipotle you can.
What's that?
At the local Mexican restaurant downstairs.
Quick service?
Yeah, fast casual.
Fast casual. Okay.
You can order on your phone and just pick it up. You can do it at Starbucks.
That
you can
stuff
order
is
Starbucks
awesome.
on your phone and pick
I
it up.
love all that technology. It's great. It's like, because you know why? when I was a kid, that's what the future was. And you push a button and this magic stuff comes out of the machine. That's what it feels like.
Pushing buttons and touchscreens is. The talking into the machine is not the future. You text me now all the time, and there's just constantly mistakes.
Yeah, because there's going to be mistakes, but it's getting better and better. Of course, in 10 years that won't happen.
Here's what's going on with technology. They're figuring out ways to use technology to take people that have low-paying jobs. They're getting rid of those because it's easy, because nobody's going to complain about that with any power. But the technology that we could easily be applying to that's going to fuck people up that are making real money, the gas industries, all that stuff, that's not getting fucked with at all.
But for those,
so it's not just a matter of like, oh, this is just technology going forward, because we're still pumping gas into cars.
But those are not mutually exclusive things. I understand that technology should be better and the patents shouldn't keep getting. Then don't sell the fucking patents. How about people when they have a patent that can make a car run on jizz? Don't sell it. How about that? I get that, but don't sell it.
What would you do with it?
Do you have that one?
No, but you can. No, I don't. I have a
Jim is a car that runs on jizz. Jim is a radio machine that runs on jizz.
Do you understand? But they're not. It's not like you have a choice.
Well, what do you?
We have checkout or we have gasless cars. They're totally different technologies and they're different people working on them.
That's what my line of thinking is. I understand that it's not like one or the other.
It's like saying don't cure AIDS because we still have cancer. You have different doctors working on it.
No, but it's very clear that high-paying jobs that are going to be replaced by technology is not happening because they're the ones controlling the technology.
I don't know. Let me ask you this. Maybe the upper ones, but a lot of jobs, like say the auto industry, how many years ago was that all manual stuff? That plant after plant
You're
has
talking about
closed?
Factories? Right. Again, that's what I'm saying.
But a lot of those are not low-paying jobs. A lot of those factory workers are very high-paying jobs.
Not they're
toll workers.
Jobs. I'm talking blue-collar jobs.
Toll workers, yes, but blue-collar jobs, those are not low-paying jobs.
I'm talking about CEOs that make millions of dollars.
Yeah, but a lot of the technology can't replace those guys. A lot of the technology can't, and if it can, eventually they will, because the stockholders will want to see it. CEOs get knocked out or they get replaced because the stockholders are who they answer to. And if the stockholders see we can save $15 million a year getting rid of this jerk off and putting in a machine, the stockholders are going to fucking demand that this guy gets thrown out.
I'm talking about companies that are reliant on technologies. I'm not talking about individual CEOs. I'm talking about companies that are reliant on technologies. And those industry, those things that are too big to fail. The same way banks get bailed out is the same way that technology doesn't get moved forward, because we've created an economy that's reliant on these big businesses.
It's all about the bottom line. You know that.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm talking
about. Making money. So if they could shave off that bottom part.
That's what they're doing. I'm not talking about...
but that's never going to stop, though. It's only going to keep getting worse.
It is going to keep getting worse. And don't think that CEOs maybe they just don't have a technology that can.
You don't think they're holding back technology?
I'm not saying they're not holding back technology, but I'm saying is that there's not this big concerted effort to protect CEOs because, again, the stockholders, if there's a lot of money to be saved, somebody would fucking make sure that was known.
To protect companies, there's definitely a big effort to protect. I'm not talking about individual CEOs, like we care about this one guy. I'm talking about whoever is in the CEO position is the guy that's going to fight for his position.
Well, how are they going to be? I'm not saying like what should they be like? What are they doing that can be replaced with technology that the technology is not being used for?
They should be pushing forward technology so that the auto industry should be completely revamped. The airplane industry should be completely revamped. The way we get our electricity.
How should they be revamped? I'm not saying you're wrong, but how should they?
I don't know the technology, but I know that we shouldn't be operating under the same basic technology that we've had for 50 years or more.
Well, what do you mean, the planes themselves? I mean, first of all, the airline industry has been revamped to a certain degree.
The cabins are fancier.
No, but I mean automatic check-in. After 9/11, believe it or not, the lines were shorter. It takes less time to check in now than you could check in at home.
Right, because they're getting more passengers on the planes. But I'm talking,
and they're also probably cutting people who work the line.
The little people.
Yes,
JetBlue. There was an article last week that JetBlue is testing getting rid of boarding passes and just using facial recognition.
Retina scans.
Awesome.
There it is.
That's awesome. I would love them to do that.
Right, but that's all these companies trying to figure out, like, how can we develop technology to make it so that we don't have to hire people at the bottom of the totem pole?
It's also faster and better. It's not like it makes it worse. It makes traveling better. It makes it better. It's not like they're sacrificing
that's not the motivation.
But I don't care what their motive. Do you care if a girl sucks your dick? Do you care what her motivation is to get back at her dad or because she likes you? Who gives a shit?
Because
the companies never have good motivation. It's always about money.
No, but
them flying me is not a clean motivation.
When you can clearly see that I don't mind people trying to make money, but when you can clearly see that the concerted effort, company to company to company to company, and in a bigger sense, in our own economy, is to wipe out a certain section of workers. It gives me pause.
I don't believe that that's the motive. I don't believe that there's a sinister motive. We want to get rid of these. They always want to save money. They're always shitty. But I don't believe they're like, let's wipe out these workers. I don't believe that's the thought process. Because all of these...
the thought process is that's where we're going to save money.
Yeah, but
it also makes it more convenient.
Look at what ESPN just did. Like, they got rid of majority, talent on air. Which was these big contracts instead of getting rid of low-level employees.
That's true, because they figure we'll get the people who make very little money. We'll get them to program the channels because they're hungry for jobs anyway.
It's about whatever and also getting rid of the immediate thing that customers see or the things that we deal with. Our experience in these places, whether it's checking out, these are the people we as customers are dealing with. So what's making my experience go faster, and that's what the business is trying to do, is to make my experience go faster, so I keep using them and it's more convenient. They're not looking at the cashiers like, beat it, you cunt. They would probably rather get rid of people they pay more money than a fucking shitty cashier who they don't pay much money to and they don't even pay benefits to. But it's much easier for me to walk in, boop, check, and walk out. I'll go to CVS over Dwayne Reed if they don't have it, because CVS is faster and it's more convenient. I prefer it. I want to get in and get the fuck out.
And as every store starts to do that, and there's no jobs replacing the cashier jobs, they're going to wonder why the people who worked as cashiers, that are the ones that are shopping at CVS too, don't have the cash to shop at CVS anymore.
Well, that we have to have alternative jobs. I mean, the whole country has to change. Obviously, there has to be other jobs and other ways for people to make a living. Of course.
Right.
That's always been the way it is with stuff. I mean, look, but again, the auto industry, the steel industry, all these things that have gone into the toilet or suffered, you have to find other things for people to do, of course.
But here's what's happening.
How do you think people who made old tube TVs feel? I mean, none of us are crying for them. Where the fuck are they? They made tube TVs.
But you could just make different TVs.
But it might be a totally different industry, a totally different technology. The people who made the little things that went into the back of the tube, maybe they're out of work. The people that made those heavy...
That's different from creating a system where we're not using people.
But it's the same thing as whatever is moving the country forward.
You can learn a new skill and make something different. But if you're being replaced with... No, people don't make things anymore.
You can still learn a new skill if you're a cashier.
They can be security guards for those cashless Amazon stores.
And you're also going to need people in the store I always want employees in the store, because there's going to be things that just you need human interaction for. I don't want all employees not in the stores, but I just like when, first of all, the lines aren't as bad.
You can cut it down by 70%. In terms of who you're employing.
Great.
You're going to have 3 people in the store.
Awesome.
It's not awesome.
Awesome. I'm so happy with that.
Because then there are people sitting at home.
Then they have to do other things.
Like what?
Whatever they have to do. I don't know. Whatever the jobs there are.
Learn a trade.
Well, there's a million jobs in computers now. Those jobs didn't exist 30 years ago. There's a million fucking computer jobs. Programmers. Those things are never going to go away.
Yeah, learn some code.
Well, yeah, they all got to be. Everybody's just got to be coders.
Yeah.
That's the secret. Everybody's just got to be a coder. What kind of trade?
Painting houses?
Because you're always going to need to paint a house.
You can't get a robot to do that.
Not yet.
You will. By the way, someone agrees with Sam here. Josh in Connecticut agrees. The phones are lit, by the way. Josh agrees with Sam.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello, Josh.
No, it's Dutch.
Dutch?
Oh, sorry. It said Josh. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I got thrown off when Alina said I love you, so I'm a little derailed.
Really? Alina, don't say that to the listeners when you're answering the phone. It's weird.
It's not appropriate.
It's weird.
I spoke because I spoke yesterday, so I feel like we have a relationship.
Oh, I see.
But it's okay. Sam, I rarely like to agree with you, especially when you're espousing socialistic views, because I know you are a bastard about this. But exactly what you're talking about is why...
Socialistic?
Yeah, when you don't want people, you want people to find other jobs, you want them to have jobs, but you want these certain jobs out, but you still want them to be taken care of. This is exactly what's happening in countries like Switzerland and Sweden, where they're voting on a national salary for everybody.
Yeah. See, that's what I don't want more and more people to be having to get paid by tax dollars. Like, that's what's going to happen. The government shouldn't be paying people. All these fucking corporations that have all the cash are the people that should be paying citizens. But as the corporations are evaporating the jobs, all that it's going to do is make it so that we, as American people, are more responsible for that. Yeah,
but technology is making it where everything is changing. Everything is changing, and it's changing for the better. If people don't like these systems, they won't shop at these stores, and it won't work. But obviously, people are going, yeah, I like this better.
Because they don't understand what's happening.
Of course they do.
Right. No, nobody sits there and thinks about everybody.
Tall people, you know how fucking enraging they were, how rude they were, and how long they took. If Easy Pass, it was so much better. It's so much faster. It's so much more efficient. And as a person who has a life and lives a life, I'm thinking if I just want to kind of live and move through things as fast as possible without wasted time.
People don't understand the slippery slope.
If you think about what JetBlue's doing with the moving towards a retinal scan or facial recognition,
amazing.
If you think about the cost of having 1 or 2 gate people at every airport around the country, the amount of time it takes them to take the ticket, look at you and say, "Hi, welcome, Mr. Roberts," and whatever.
Yeah,
Robertson.
You get rid of that. It's going to speed up the process and allow them, theoretically, to cut their prices to get more people to fly so they can then raise the prices once they have more people flying.
Yeah, because they're not cutting their prices.
I don't care about what their motives are. All I care about is when I'm flying, when I'm traveling, what I hate the most is delays. I hate it. I hate waiting.
Jimmy, a man of your status should be given that you're flying first, if not more, aren't they coming to pick you up at the house and shuttling you in?
No, I don't fly international first, sir. But I just, to me, that's what's important. What frustrates me, maybe that's different for you or other people, but what frustrates me personally when I travel is I guess I've done it so much, and the delays add up, and it adds up, and sitting in traffic adds up. So anything that speeds that up or saves me time means a lot to me. That may not be as important to some people who don't travel as much. Like somebody may go, no, I like a lot of old people probably hate the new technology because they love the interaction with the pharmacist. They love the interaction. It's important to them.
And all those goddamn filthy fingerprints on those screens.
I don't like
and
that.
And all those
but
damn Indians serving Indians. I get it.
That's true. I mean, if there were less Indians serving Indians, then maybe this wouldn't be such a big problem.
Thanks a lot, Josh. Appreciate it.
At the end of the day, drain the swamp.
All right. All right. Thanks, bud. You know, whatever's important to you as a customer. Like, you know, for me, I just don't fucking like waiting in line. And most people don't, but I get angry. I get to like that lady's level of frustration without saying that dumb shit. But I get to that level of irrational. I want to throw my stuff on the floor. I can't handle it.
And I sit there and I look around.
I'm a dick.
And I look at like long-term effects of what's going on. And it was clear to me when they took out, at the mall, they took out the fucking guys sitting there and it was all computer things. It was clear to me what was going on.
Yeah, this isn't new. I mean, on the Garden State Parkway, there's been those little things where you just throw the change in for
absolutely, and then Easy Pass, absolutely
slippery slope. But now it's like, now we have but
decades.
But those people do other job. They have to just find other job. There's
but
other
you don't
things
think there's been an accelerated rate since computer technology? Like you don't think that now?
Oh, sure, but I love technology.
Still,
I still love technology.
Okay,
but you know what I mean. How do you stop? You can't hold up technology because you have to just find alternative ways for people to. This doesn't mean there's nothing wrong.
Here's the alternative ways. Watch when our taxes go up. Watch what happens.
Do you really think they're not going to go up? Otherwise, do you really think they're not going to go up otherwise?
No, I think they're going to go up dramatically because people are just going to starve because there's not new jobs being created.
Not if we drain the swamp.
I think people will find other jobs.
They're not there.
Now someone wants to tell you why you're wrong. All right. Okay. Roger. Oh, watch how I introduce him. Roger Dodger. Go on.
Yeah, I wanted to tell Sam why he's totally wrong on this. Industries have always been changing. 200 years ago, it was all farming. Everything revolved around farming. It changes. Everything, all these new technologies, you need people to build them. You need people to repair them. You need factories just to make the circuit boards that go in them. Everything creates new technology.
Well, the factories where the circuit boards are created are in China, and in terms of needing people to repair them, we've created systems that are online now, so you don't have guys going into every shop and repairing things. You have software problems where one person repairs it and it gets zapped out to all the stores. So where you would have had 100 jobs, you have one guy doing it. And the way that industries change, it's what I was saying. Like even going from farming to industry, like in the Industrial Revolution, you still needed people to operate those machines. When you are, the goal is to create what Amazon has done. Stores, factories, things like that, where you do not need people in them at
right,
all.
so we have to adjust the way people, pardon me, make a living, or the way people make their money. We have to adjust. Whatever it is, this change is not going to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much for the call,
They
Roger.
can make the robots that are taking our jobs.
Yeah, that's true. And that seems pretty long term, right?
Yeah.
I'll build the robots that are taking the jobs, and they probably won't ever realize that, we've created robots that are smarter than human beings, and they're going to destroy us, and that we are creating the evolution past us that is going to destroy our human race. Like that would we may actually be doing that. Of course we are.
And if we are, we are. It's just, it is what that's the way it's got to be. We can't hold off and not have technology.
I'm a humanist. I like the idea that humans will survive.
I'm the last humanist. Just devil's advocate.
Yeah, I watched it over the break. It's so good.
It is good.
I love it. I'm a fan of man.
Yeah.
Did you buy that one?
Yeah. It was on $9.99. Wow. Good deal.
I just didn't like when he went, are we negotiating? And he went, always. I didn't like that part.
No.
I did love Pacino in that.
There's so much. Even the last line in the movie is potential cheese, but because
Vanity's still my favorite scene.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I could see it is potential cheese, but it's done vanity. Definitely my favorite sin. Like,
and you don't see it coming.
No,
I didn't see it coming. That was great.
Me neither.
That was that awful teacher, and then it just in a second.
Yeah,
he's back to his old path. It was so great.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're not going to figure this out today, but it is interesting to think about. I don't know what the answer is, but every new technology I know costs people a lot of jobs. Jim in Portland thinks technology makes things better. Oh, Jim, give us such basic
that's
wisdom.
a hot take.
Hello, Jim in Portland.
No, this is Jim in Tampa.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
Now it makes things a little bit different. But no, what I was talking about.
Wish we had a non-human call screener.
I know. We do.
Technology is. The prime example is when you're in line at the grocery store and someone pulls out the checkbook in front of you. The ultimate hatred that you feel.
Yeah.
Because they don't have a debit card.
Will you take a check?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I know. And thanks, Jim. The best way to do it, though, is like literally if you could walk through and just put wherever you put this little chip or whatever, and you. Boop,
what's that?
A little chip in you.
What's that?
Oh, Robertson.
Thank you, Chip.
You put your hand over and it just scans. I love it. The faster I can get in and out,
that's actually a great idea. Jim thinks that we should all be microchipped.
Yeah, that opens a whole other world of problems, dude.
Oh, this is great. Yeah, you're right. Convenience is key. Let's all be microchipped.
It does. Yes, it does. It does, and that's eventually what's going to happen.
It's going to happen, but dude, that's a very, very, very scary thing.
I know it is.
Terrible
but you know what?
idea.
No, it's not a terrible idea. Because what's going to happen is eventually we're going to have little computers inside of us that tell us when we're sick. That's what's going to eradicate cancer. Is you're going to have a fucking a little microcomputer going through you. When it sees these cancer cells, it zaps them. It's going to be amazing. There's going to be problems that come with it.
And then a robot who controls all the computers is going to be like, oh, I'll just shut people off, and it can just be us great robots.
You don't think they're going to figure out mind control and knowing your thoughts?
They will, but we'll also, I think,
your brain's in the cloud.
Everyone's thoughts will be known. That's what the equalizer will be. Everyone's thoughts will be. No one will be safe from it. And I think once all of our thoughts are known and we're all kind of linked in together, there will be something probably overall in the end that is good that comes out of it.
Incorrect.
I know. Yeah. I think technologically, I think that we're all going to be kind of connected as one unit who works together. I think it's going to change things for the better.
Anonymity and the idea to have private thoughts is what independence is based on.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't have that ability, you are not an independent person or being.
But I don't even know if the idea of having individual country or whatever feelings we get from independence, it might not. I'm not saying I want us to not be independent.
Okay.
I'm saying weird things like sense of humor, laughing, feeling good. Those are all just dopamine chemical releases. They're eventually going to figure out a way. We'll have those things automatically.
Same chemical reaction as large quantities of chocolate.
Yeah. But that's going to be coming because people are going to wind up living.
So you don't think there's any essence to being a human being? You don't think that?
I'm not saying there's any essence to it. I'm saying the idea, the way we look at it changes, just like it's changed from 10,000 years ago. We're not the same as we were 10,000 years ago. We're much different. We're unrecognizable from the way we were 10 or 20,000 years ago.
But you're saying that because
of my opinion,
right? No, I totally get it. I'm just trying to get to the or just have the conversation, I guess. But because through chemicals. And we can create emotion based on chemicals. That's why the antidepressant industry is so big. But you think that's where things would go, so we wouldn't even have to worry about whether we were independent or not, because we could have a button for happy and a button for love and a button for this.
What do you mean? It would just be
touchscreen.
Yeah, maybe this great feeling all the time. I'm not saying that that's not always healthy.
No.
But if you're living to be 400 years old, or if we now have the ability to upload ourselves into computers and you can live to be 400, you can live to be 500, we can't keep going the way we're going with this limited, there's fucking rage, love, lust cycle. There has to be something more than that.
There's always going to be like leaders of this, right? The people who create it, the people who own it, whatever it is. Like, it's always going to be a hierarchy. And this idea that all of our thoughts will be out there is not the case, because all of our thoughts in this room will be out there. But the people who are in charge of the world now, we're talking, not just America, and the people who have created the technology, their thoughts won't be out there.
See, that's what I don't agree with. I think that it will be an equalizer, and I don't think there'll be this amazing hierarchy that people think there's going to be.
There'll be firewall. It will definitely be a hierarchy, because nobody's going to create this technology that is simply for the society.
People who create the technology will become kind of a victim to it, or not be able to override what it does. Meaning, you won't be able to have your thoughts private and everybody else's public. I just don't think that'll happen. And in time.
But we'll need to for national security.
Yeah,
but again, the idea of that will go away. Someday, the idea
because
that
we'll be able to see, like Minority Report. We'll be able to see a terrorist attack before it happens, so we won't need national security.
I don't know about seeing it before it happens, but maybe we'll be able to know when people are plotting it, because we know what they're thinking.
But here's what'll happen.
And they won't be thinking it.
Enemy of the state, just some guy. Oh, we don't like him. Oh, well, we used our technology. We found out he was going to be a terrorist, so he's gone.
Say even beyond that.
He's gone.
That may happen, but even beyond that, after that.
This is very dangerous, what you're talking about.
I don't know if it is or not. Because what we're doing okay right now. But the entire world hates each other's fucking guts. Let's be honest. We're not exactly setting things on fire, being terrific.
People don't. I mean, like, that's the message and everything. But
people do. Look at that lady in the store.
That lady is not representative of us. That's why she
I agreed with her.
Well, yeah, I know that. But that's why that lady becomes, that's why that lady becomes news, because she's not actually representative of the majority of people.
Two Jews walk in a bar. They repair it.
Oh, because now the audience is robots too, so they're like, ha ha.
Yeah, that's right. Hold on, Dan in Florida wants to talk about robot comedians. Hello, Dan.
Guys, it's happening quicker than you think. Dr. Steve, our illustrious friend, has created an Alexa app, and it gives interesting medical facts. And when it gives a bad joke, I heard Alexa in her Alexa voice say, "Right, Chip? Peppers."
Oh. Excellent. Thank you very much.
Medical advice. Dr. Steve is creating himself obsolete.
But again,
by creating an app that does what he does.
So by your thought with technology, what I just said is going to happen, where they're going to have computers
Enjoy
that you
your
put
home speakers, by the way.
But that you put inside of you that can kind of go through you and see what's wrong with you.
They already have that.
They should already have that. I mean, I would love them to, but that's going to put a lot of doctors and nurses out of work. That is going to hurt the medical industry.
You know why they don't already have that? Because they don't have the technology to track everything yet. I mean, they probably have the technology to monitor everything, but they can't record it and track it and collect the data. So once they can record and track and collect it, then it'll be ready.
I think even the idea of collecting data for advertising, like that's primitive. Like, that's one of those things that fucking 300 years. I don't think they're going to go, ooh, let's see what he want to listen to on Spotify. I think we're going to evolve past that. This is what's happening now because our culture is advertiser driven and purchase driven. I think that's going to change.
Data might evolve, but data collection I don't think will ever evolve. I mean, data collecting has always been.
If all data
from
is
the
collected,
beginning of time, it's always been the most valuable.
But let's just say all data is collected. Let's say all of it is collectible. Let's just say it is and saved. Then who gives a fuck? It's all there.
It's whoever has saved it, though.
But then if everybody has access to it, which I do believe eventually we all will.
We won't.
Already people are getting access to it. The NSA can't keep secrets anymore.
They can keep their secrets they want to keep.
No, they can't. They're not controlling what information gets dumped. They're not in control. I mean, literally, it's just, this is the tip of the iceberg, and already fucking stuff's getting thrown out there for all of us to see.
Yeah, I mean...
It's already getting out of their control where they can't stop the information from getting out.
But there was always leaks, regardless of the system. The amount of stuff that's not getting hacked versus the amount of stuff that's getting recorded and the amount of stuff that is there to be hacked is like monstrous. I mean, you talk about the tip of the iceberg. Nothing real has been hacked in terms of what's possible.
I mean, it's not even 1% of a percent.
Yeah.
Maybe not yet, but a lot of stuff has been.
The computer systems that are available are so much more secure than any data has ever been in history right now.
Yeah, but they threatened to hack. They were fucking with. They have a virus that accidentally got shut down that could have done a tremendous amount of damage. Like, I think that you're overestimating their ability to control stuff. I think that they overestimate their ability to control stuff, and it's all eventually hackable.
Yeah, but that's why we all have passwords with like one capital letter and one, number.
What's yours?
I'll tell you off air.
Okay, I want to know.
Mine is Sam 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 9. Because that way they won't.
I would just go back to like.
How long would it take them to figure that out?
Sam 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 9.
Yeah.
Probably 2 guesses.
How long does it take people to crack passwords?
I mean, it really is not that easy to crack a password.
It's not.
Because it's like, I mean, the amount of different possibilities that a password could be is immense. The trick is that once you've figured out one, you get into an email, you can use that email to back up another email.
Yeah,
you
that's
can
the
send
majority of hacking.
Password reminders.
Passwords.
Yeah. You find one, and then you use that one to get the other ones that are connected.
Yeah, I don't.
But that's like an extremely, annoying thing to pull off.
It is, right? Wow, the phone. People really want to talk about this stuff.
Because I figured this stuff out.
Yeah.
No,
They don't all. They don't all agree with you. Oh, someone thinks they're doing okay. Go on now, Matt.
Hey, what's going on, fellas? How are you?
Hungry.
Hungry. Well,
Hungry. Augustus, sweetheart, save some room for later.
So a couple things. First one is that earlier this week you guys were talking about Apple Pay, and I called in earlier, but I wanted you guys to know that Apple Pay is one of the most secure ways to be able to process credit card payments, period.
I use Apple Pay.
Yeah, Apple Pay is really crazy. I work in the credit card payments industry, and I'm telling you, it's great. The other thing that I wanted to say was that, 35 years ago when the first ATM was introduced, that is when technology started taking over banking. So when you look at the way that banks have shrunk their footprints and banks have used less tellers and they're using less and less people inside of branches utilizing online banking, utilizing ATM machines for your deposits and for your withdrawals and blah, 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 it's eliminated a lot of jobs. So, Jim, you're absolutely correct in that technology does help out. But, Sam, you're also right because of the fact that it's eliminating jobs. And I've seen banking centers across the country that are closing their doors because of the fact that they don't need it.
As it happens industry to industry to industry, there become less places for you to go. Like, okay, there's no more banking jobs because ATMs and online banking. Okay, well, that was the first thing. Well, then I'll go work over here. Well, now we don't have jobs over here because we do this. Okay, well, then and now I've gotten all the way down to the fact that I'm just some fucking cashier next to a high school kid. Well, we don't have cashiers anymore either.
Yeah, we have to figure out. It has to be figured out what jobs people are going to do, of course. But I think new jobs open. The technology opens new jobs.
Doesn't it also hurt the banking centers? Bottom line, because I mean you've got to jump through so many hoops now with fees. They've got to make money in other places now, right?
Yes and no. So no, because yes and no. So the money comes out. You actually show a higher profitability when you have less labor, obviously, right?
Right.
So the fees themselves, they have increased the fees, but they've diminished their costs. So they're showing a higher profitability in most banks because of the fact that they've increased their fees. But when was the last time you guys went to the DMV?
Yesterday.
You got 35 fucking windows and 4 people working the windows, and it's because they have diminished those jobs because they put so much online. So it's a very, very interesting conversation, and there's a lot of people that are on both sides of the fence because of it. They're like, technology's great because it makes it faster, but technology sucks because we're losing out on all these jobs.
I guess the point what bothers me, there's a lot of people that are great at their jobs, but there's so many people that are shitty at their jobs.
I mean, it doesn't matter if you're good or bad. Like people got to work, otherwise we're paying for them.
People who are shitty at their jobs frustrated me to the point where I'm like, I just want technology to do this. And if we're paying for them, well, then I have to make a decision as a person. What's more important to me, paying a little more in taxes and fucking going through life faster, or being stuck in line after fucking line because this person is slow or wants to have a conversation? Oh, we need a registered check or whatever else the holdup is. I've chosen to pay. I would pay.
It's because you live in that ivory tower on the Lower East Side.
Nobody wants to rush. I mean, nobody wants to get stuck in line. Nobody likes fucking being stuck in a toll line. That's why Easy Pass took off. No one was forced to get it. It was easier.
No, I mean, nobody's arguing that the technology isn't easier. That's the point.
Yes, sweetie.
Hey, Jim. Thank you, dear. You made a comment earlier about the guy who used to make the old Capcode Ray 2 TVs. Their jobs are obsolete, but what's become even more interesting, and I think would hit your point home, is what happened to the TV repair guy. Not the guy who made it, but the repair guy. Look at all the appliance repair guy. Everything has become a throwaway appliance now, where it's cheaper just to go out and buy a new one than it is to get it repaired. So these repair guys are obsolete at this point. It's just we are in a really, really fucked up world when it comes down to technology, and even more so fucked up when you see stuff like that happening at JCPenney. Because it's 100%. Someone has a deeper rooted issue somewhere, and they're just not getting their voice heard. So I appreciate you guys taking my call. I absolutely love listening to you guys. Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you very much. And we have guests today too. We have Laura Prepon is coming in. Have we ever had her? I don't think I've ever met her.
I interviewed her before, but I don't know.
She was on Opie and Jim, but I don't know if you were here.
I don't remember. And then John Lithgow, of course, is coming in as well.
Yes.
Pushing a film this time. That guy works a lot. Is his show done, or is it still happening?
No, it got renewed.
Oh, it did get renewed.
Yeah.
Okay, good for him.
Yes, and Laura Prepon, she's also working a lot too. She's in a new movie with Sam Elliott, and she's also one of the main characters on Orange is the New Black, which I think season 5.
Oh, I think I met her before.
Both of them come out tomorrow.
Yeah,
and we have Sam Elliott tomorrow.
Yes,
so,
I gotta watch some more of that House of Cards so I can start getting into Orange is the New Black.
Where's the food?
It's on its way. Anthony is getting it.
Should have sent a robot.
Why is Anthony getting it?
Well, Roland called and said that the food was ready downstairs. And I told our intern and Anthony, I said, the food's downstairs. And Anthony said, who's going to get it? I said, you guys can figure that out on your own. And Anthony went.
Anthony said, who's going to get it? Yeah. He asked?
Yeah. Is she in there?
Yeah, she's right here.
Can we have her come in for a moment before break?
Go in there. I said, you guys can figure it out. And within 5 seconds, Anthony left the room.
Anthony needs to be spoken to.
I knew that. I
got to talk to Anthony.
I knew it was going to happen.
I got to talk to
because
this
she
kid.
should be getting the food.
Yeah,
obviously.
Bitch boy's coming down the thing.
Is Anthony on his way up the hall?
Yeah, he is.
I got to talk to this kid.
So can we ask you what happened with the food? Like, you guys had the option of who was going to get it?
I said, I was like, can I go? And he said, no, I'll get it. And then he just walked out.
Oh, you asked to go?
Yeah.
Maybe he wanted a break.
I was messing up the phone, so I was like, let me try to save the day.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Hold on, Anthony.
What are you doing?
2, 3. Okay, hold on. Let me put Anthony's mic on.
Anthony, I need you to sit down.
He's really upset with me, too.
Why?
Not you.
Is that decaf?
Yes.
Thank you. Is it?
Yes.
I ordered it.
It is decaf. Thank you. Okay, appreciate it.
I need to talk to you about this, Anthony. I don't care about Snapple.
What happened with the food?
Like,
what do you mean?
Like, why? When you said who's going to go get it, why did you decide to do it?
Roland asked for me. Roland asked for me.
What do you mean Roland asked for? He's like, the food's all the way in the lobby. I'm gonna need Anthony.
First of all, it was really heavy today.
There's less food today. Is there any possibility that Roland asked for you because he doesn't know new intern's name yet?
That's very possible.
Is it possible?
And why would Roland care who came down to get the food?
He doesn't.
Yeah, Roland does not care. Roland did not call me and say, I need specifically Anthony.
He would have said this. Roland's like, could you send girl down to get food? He doesn't know her name.
Yeah, is that number 1 or number 2? He doesn't give a shit.
No.
He said, I don't know her name.
Yeah, okay. That code's been cracked. So, Anthony, I heard that you asked who's going to go get that. Travis said... Travis said you can decide that amongst yourselves, and then you just went and got it. True or false?
True.
Anthony, you are a full-time member of the show.
You have to understand, I'm getting used to
this. What's your title
I'm still
here?
in the associate producer.
Why did you decide to get
it?
Because she was on the phones, number one. She was doing a Cracker Jack job. But I don't know. I just jumped up and went.
You have an intern now.
I'm not used to it. I'm really not used to having an intern.
You have to stand your ground. She was in here yesterday being like, oh, you mean bitch boy, Anthony.
Yeah.
My mom got very upset about that.
Did she really? Because that's her nickname for you.
She got really pissed off.
I thought you were my bitch boy.
What'd she say?
First she texted me. She said, thank God I hear that you're a gentleman. Not too happy to hear that you're a bitch.
So she actually is not mad at Alina. She's mad.
More mad at me.
Yeah.
She should be mad at you.
Well, of course.
And she should be even more mad at you today because you were like, did somebody call for a bitch? I'll be there. Like, you know, you got to take your spot.
You're right.
Nobody's giving it to you.
I must be better.
You have an intern who's this is part of what being an intern is. You have to go down and get. It's not the funnest job, but it's part of what it is.
Yeah. Like, here's the thing about shit. Which way
delicious.
does it?
And by the way, she doesn't mind. Like, she asked on her before her first day. She goes, "Can I bring you coffee before I get in?"
Yeah, I like doing
Whose side are you on in there?
There's nobody that could possibly be on your side. You're in the wrong. Now, which way does shit roll when it's on a hill?
Down.
So you have decided, okay, I'm the associate producer here. There's a brand new intern. She doesn't know that you just started 2 days ago. As far as she knows, you've been here for a year.
Yeah.
But instead, you're like, listen, I'm learning as much as you are, so don't listen to what I got to say. You have decided that even though there's an intern, you will firmly plant your feet at the very bottom of the hill. Like, whatever shit is rolling down, let me catch it. Let it roll right past the intern. I will take my spot at the bottom. That's because
you want to be a gentleman. You want the intern to like you.
Well,
you want her to be happy.
I don't care if she likes me or not. I'm about being a gentleman.
Let me eat the shit, is what you're saying.
I don't want to eat shit.
You understand? You've volunteered to eat the shit.
Yeah,
that's already rolled down the hill. It's all grassy and muddy.
Is it in my system?
You're not being a bad guy by saying you get the food. That's not being a bad guy. You're not being a gentleman by saying yes. You go. That's your.
Being assertive.
Plus, we all know that she respects guys that are assertive because those are the only cocks that she sucks.
It's true.
She told us that, and she's not gonna, she's not gonna blow you, but you could have a little bit of respect for him.
Right now, let me ask you: the way Anthony has behaved, is he assertive enough for his dick to be on the possibly going to get wet list?
If you guys didn't work together,
am I blowable?
If, by the way, he's active.
Yeah, he's so he's really helpful. Like, when I mess up, he's actually really, he presses the button for me for the phones and stuff. I like.
Here, let me press the button.
I'll do that for you.
Here, no. Here's what
let me get it.
You ask for their names, and then I'll put them on hold.
Teamwork.
That's what yeah, it's teamwork.
Don't raise a finger.
We're both interns.
No.
Anthony doesn't know how to handle a girl like that.
No,
it's true. I really don't.
He doesn't.
I really don't. I have no idea.
She's she's gonna like grow up to be like a CEO of a company or something because she's just so like she can just control things like him, just control him to do whatever she wants
with a smile on her face, and everybody's happy about it.
Yeah,
like that's the trick.
You don't think Anthony will learn to control her?
Nope.
No.
She'll just walk completely, just walk all over.
You think
him.
she's going to have his job by the end of this interview?
I wouldn't be surprised
if she takes it. It's going to be offered to her. She might not.
Anthony will offer it to her. Do you want the money?
Do you want to like officially trade places? I know we were kind of like joking on the air, but if you want, you can have my salary and benefits.
Now, and when are you going to have your thing written by?
I already wrote it.
Wait, we asked you to write something and you just wrote it immediately?
Well, no, because Hot Dog snapped me saying that you wanted it today, so I flipped out and I stayed up all night writing it. So
it's a 7-page script. I have it.
Yeah, I hope you guys like it.
We all have parts.
Remember when she said she wanted to write scripts for like late night TV?
Yeah. You have to do it fast. Yeah, that's right.
She wrote us a script that would be for a sketch that would be on late night TV.
Story.
She wasn't even worried that we would make fun of what she wants to do with her life.
Oh my God.
She just decided to do it because she understood that like content is king.
Sure. It is good, bad, or indifferent. It is all that matters. So how many copies do you have?
Enough for everybody.
Oh, you brought it?
Yeah, they're all in
of course
here.
you did. Awesome.
Yeah, I made all the copies for her.
Yeah.
Okay, of course you did. Why not?
Yeah.
Here, bitch, copy these for me.
Yeah. I'm going to create. You give it to everybody.
Yes, ma'am.
Like you're like the teacher's assistant. Like she is sitting there going like, okay, class, here's what you want to learn today. We're going to go over this. Everybody, stupid is going to pass out dittos. And then you just pass the dittos out. Is that right?
And collect them at the end of the day.
And you'll collect them too, because she's not going to get up
she
from
can't
her
collect
desk.
it.
No. So do you want to do this? I would like to see. We have Lithgow at 10, so we have plenty of time. Do you want to take a quick break, come back, and then look at the script for a little bit? I would like to see this.
You want to do it today?
Yeah, let's look at it. Let's just look at it a little bit. I want to.
Okay.
I want to.
It's a rough draft.
It's a rough draft. Because you wrote it, I want to see what she has the next day.
Anthony, do you have anything to say for yourself?
I hope it's good.
Oh, my God.
You're laughing. You are.
He likes it?
It's just because she's insane.
Well, even if it's not good, it's still a 24-hour turnaround. It's a very fast turnaround.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You have any bits, Anthony?
I do.
Wait.
None produced.
Should we maybe, when we get back, should we see, like, we could get a rundown before we look at the script for the sketch. We could get a kind of a rundown of what she has in mind. And then we can get a rundown of Anthony's bit and just decide which one we want to do?
Sure.
That sounds good, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll be right back in a minute. I'm coming to Pittsburgh end of the month, 29th July, June 30th, July 1st.
And my shoes are black and yellow.
Oh, like the Pirates.
And the Penguins and the Steelers.
And Yellow Jackets.
You know what it is.
I'll be in Nashville in the middle of July. And I will, oh, thanks, Troy. And I will be in Montreal with Sam. We're broadcasting July 28th, 29th. I'm doing gigs up there, and we're also doing some live shows.
Shit, yeah.
In Atlantic City, August the 5th. So we'll be right back. We get our podcast is up?
Yes, the podcast this week is, I always, here's the
Lou Piniella.
Lou Piniella, for some reason, ever since he was in studio, every time I think of Lou Piniella, the name Ron Popeil comes to my lips, and I always want to call him Ron Popeil. But Ron Popeil is the set it and forget it guy, who I would also love to interview. I keep in my head, I've never done it out loud, but in my head, I keep calling Lou Piniella Ron Popeil, and I don't know why.
I do know why.
Why?
You're stupid.
Oh.
All right, so Lou Piniella and who else? On that
That's
podcast.
it. That's the podcast, Lou Piniella.
All right, we'll be right back.
And Ron Popeil.
We'll be right back to look at this young lady's script after this. Okay, I have to turn all the mics on.
Whoa.
We are, I think we're all on.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on, except for Alina, now she's on. Hi. Hello. You good over there?
I'm good.
Okay, cool.
By the way, real quick, before we get to these two, do you see the guy on fire that got kicked in the stomach by the police?
No, I heard about it.
It's fucked. It's fucked. The Jersey City mayor said he's going to fire cops over it. There was a police chase. There's a video, and we'll tweet out the video, I guess, but there was a police chase there in, I think, Jersey City, obviously. And they were chasing a guy. The guy gets into a wreck. He crashes into another car. There's a big fire. The guy whose car he crashed into, not the guy who was being chased, but the guy whose car he crashed into gets out of the car. It's on video because there's cars on fire,
right.
So somebody was filming it. And so the guy gets out of the car, and he's on fire, like full-on fire. And then he takes his shirt off, because his shirt was, as previously noted, on fire. The cops then run up, and because they thought this was the guy they were chasing,
sure.
They run up to arrest him, and immediately one of the cops kicks him in the stomach. And the first report, I guess they didn't know there was a video, was that they were trying to put the fire out. They were stomping the fire out, but he had taken his shirt off, so his torso wasn't on fire anymore.
Can we see the video? This has all the elements of everything I like in the video. Someone burning and getting kicked in the stomach. It's rules.
Okay, here it is. Here it is. And we'll tweet it out.
Wow, that's a bad fire.
Yeah, it's huge.
Shit.
It's huge.
Oh, no.
See, there's the guy on fire.
And the guy's not even helping him. This guy filming is not even helping the guy on fire.
Because he doesn't want the car to blow up.
Well,
You hear this guy, by the way?
No. I'm not going to approach a burning car.
No way.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, okay. He kicked
So that's them putting out the fire.
Right.
That was the...
See, the second set of kicks, the one guy, he starts kicking the shirt and stomping on it. That's them putting out the fire. The first, 3 kicks are just kicking a man.
The cop just kicked the guy thinking he was a suspect.
And then they dragged him off. So, they're doing an investigation now, and the Jersey City mayor is saying that he's not going to let a few bad apples spoil the bunch.
I'm glad he used that expression.
And they're gonna fire the cop. Not that there's this whole big cop problem, but that they're gonna fire the cops that feel the need to kick people that are on fire.
Fired for fire?
Yeah.
Fire everywhere. There's a fire in the closet, there's a fire in the bed, there's a fire sitting under my chair.
Oh,
there's a fire in the sink, it's so hot I'm turning pink. Oh, doesn't anyone care?
No.
Then he reached up with his arm.
Let's just hear the
pulled
horn.
Down the alarm.
Let's just hear the siren.
I don't want to hear the siren.
Would soon be
Travis, do you want to hear the siren?
I do.
That's nice.
Terrible.
Thank you.
That's what Jim listened to as a boy and thought was fun.
I thought this was the coolest thing ever when I was 5. I thought that guy fucking ruled.
You think that'll be in people's heads?
Yeah, I hope so. Fire. It's in my head.
There is a biting irony to getting fired because you kicked a guy who was on fire.
Yeah. It's great.
They probably didn't see that coming.
No, they didn't.
They were like, oh, I fucking hate this guy. He made me run all over the place.
I'm about to get fired. Kick.
I kicked him, and then he was like, "That's going to be it for me as a police officer."
So well done, by the way. She came up with a 7-page script overnight. Now,
you're talking about Elena?
I am talking about Elena. I've not read the script.
Our intern, who we assigned yesterday. Yesterday, we found out she wanted to write for a late night show, and we said, okay, well, if that's what you want to do with your life, then write something for the show, and she did.
Oh, Hot Dog's not here.
Yeah, I know.
Who's going to play Hot? Get Roland.
Roland to play Hot Dog?
Yeah, why not?
Unless you just want to wait and do it tomorrow.
Will Hot Dog be here tomorrow?
No, I don't think so. He's going away on vacation.
No, that's next Friday. He's going on vacation.
No, he said it was this Friday for next week.
It's next Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
I was about to anyway. Because I also want to know, because this was a real quick turnaround.
Yeah.
Anthony, what have you got for the team, right?
I had thought of something.
What?
Because again, we want to figure out who's at the bottom of the totem pole, right?
Yeah.
Well, I came up with an idea that I want to do called Ship Egg of the Week, where from
It's okay. I like hearing about it.
From Monday through Thursday, we will nominate.
That's much better.
Good.
No, it's not on yet, is it?
Yes, it is. Everybody can hear
stupid.
you. What an idiot, huh? Troy, you think he's stupid?
That was dumb.
Well, I want to do Ship Egg of the Week, where from Monday through Thursday, we will nominate one person a day.
I nominate Anthony.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, we've got this week covered.
Staff or celebrity, doesn't matter. If they do something that we feel worthy is a ship bag, like for example, I guess I'll just use Tiger Woods getting a DUI. That's considered being a ship bag when you have that much money and don't have a driver.
Okay, but it's debatable.
Debatable. So that's why he's nominated.
That's a nomination, but like the rest of the team could come forward and be like, well, I don't think so.
Which is fine.
Is this along the lines of Keith Olbermann's worst person in the world?
No.
Well, it sounds kind of similar. Or Hustler's Asshole of the Week.
Is it at all like
my Asshole of the Month, Hustler would do?
Is it at all like when Charlemagne does Donkey of the Day, except instead of doing it every
week, it's for the week.
It's for the week, though.
It's the same,
but different.
Right.
He does Donkey of the Day?
Yeah. I didn't even know that. One of his marquee.
I love
Same.
It's great, right?
So cool.
Yeah, I'm a fan. But that's one of his been one of his marquee bits for a long time. Power 105 does Donkey of the Day. It's Charlemagne's. But this is not the same.
That's not the same.
Okay, that's
Ship Egg of the Week.
So every day there's a new donkey.
Every day. Yeah. And it's either it could be staff or celebrity.
Oh, damn it.
It's usually, to be fair, it's usually celebrity, so maybe if we
do staff.
If we lean staff, maybe that.
But it's always going to be me.
Well, with that attitude, it very well might be. He kind of volunteered himself. But we should come up with some production, and every Friday.
I did. I thought of a theme song. I wrote a theme song.
If we come up with some production, and we could even put the name in the production, that every Friday we just nominate Anthony as shitbag of the week.
Well, I don't want to do that.
We don't even have to make a big bit of it. Just every Friday we just announce that Anthony is the shitbag of the week.
What was the production you had?
I want to write. I already wrote out a theme song, and it's going to be to Yankee Doodle Dandy.
Like, could you sing it?
I'd like
he
to
sings
hear
all
it.
the parts. He told me.
I'm going to sing all. I want to.
I'd like to hear
it in
it.
different. I do it in different. I'm going to do it in different voices.
Yes, you should. You're very gifted. Can I hear some of it?
I'm not very gifted.
You are.
You are.
I wrote it on a.
Cool.
By the way, we've found somebody to take Hot Dog's place.
Who?
Man of many talents, Dennis Falcone.
I don't know if we'll have time now because we have Lithgow at 10.
That's the only thing that made me, I kind of, although, I may nominate Dennis Falcone to take Hot Dog's part tomorrow anyway.
Would Dennis be willing to do it tomorrow? We only have Sam Elliott tomorrow?
Yeah.
You're here tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do it tomorrow.
That way we can really
yeah. I don't want to be done with
sink our teeth into it.
It may take longer than 15
That's
minutes.
fine. I'm sure Dennis will be here whenever we want him.
Yeah. So what now? I want to hear Anthony sing this song.
That's.
I need the Yankee Doodle Dandy from Rocky. From Rocky that Apollo Creed came out to.
What difference does it make?
Because that's the best one.
Yankee Doodle Dandy is Yankee Doodle Dandy.
No, the Bill Conti one from Rocky. That's the one
but is there other sound under it? Oh, is there just playing music?
It's just he's just playing music.
All right, can we get the Bill Conti Rocky fucking Yankee Doodle Dandy
for Anthony Conti?
No, I'm not gonna really sing it because I want.
Yeah, you should sing it. You got to sing it.
All right, fair
Go
enough.
all out.
Right, she's right.
Take the boss's advice.
You don't like timid.
What?
You don't like timid?
Yeah, like you don't want to be a bitch. Just do it. Like,
Yeah.
She told you, bro.
Can you believe he's just sitting there going like, oh, I don't want to sing.
So give you the mic. You should be proud of this and happy and go for it.
Right.
Yeah, you should
But
go for it.
What's he kind of acting like right now?
Bitch.
Oh.
His mother didn't like you to call him
She's
that.
easily going to text me soon.
Well, do you think his mother should be aware that he is, though?
Yeah, I mean, she raised a nice guy, but he needs some kahunas. Like, they were dropped somewhere.
She wanted to call in yesterday.
Did she?
Yeah.
Tell her to call in.
She wants to.
I'll tell you this. I know from experience. If your mom calls in to defend you, it is not a bitch move by any stretch of the imagination.
No, not at all.
No. You want to...
Play the music?
Yeah, but play it a little like half volume so that Anthony can sing over it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can Anthony hear it? Yeah.
And...
Well, this would be Don Pardo announcing it right now that it's going to be a bit,
Okay,
and I'm going to go
let's do
into it.
it.
Hold on.
Just a little.
You're the shit bag. You're the shit bag of the week. You're the shit bag. You're the shit bag of the week.
Doesn't sound like Don Pardo.
What this means is that you fucking suck. You embarrassed yourself now. Because you don't know how the fuck to act. You're the shit bag of the week.
Oh, okay.
I was waiting for it.
That wasn't applause all around there. Oh, that's unfortunate that it wasn't as applauded.
Thank you.
Gallon effort.
Who were the voices?
I'm gonna do a bunch of voices and
Why
cut
did
it
you
together.
do it in there? We
because
didn't hear it.
It didn't sound like Don Pardo.
Give it your all.
Well, no, Don Pardo's gonna go. And now it's time for.
So we should probably restart.
I agree, Trav. Do you want to hear it in the voices?
Yeah.
But
I think we should.
I was gonna cut all the voices together so like it sounds like a chorus.
Elena, do you think he gave it his all?
No, Anthony, I swear to God, you could have had your own show by now if this was good. Like, people would be calling you up. And
If this was good.
Yeah, it's not. You're half-assing it.
So
because I need to do the I'm not gonna argue it. I'm not gonna argue with my boss.
Acoustic? Come on. Real singers do acoustic. You can do acoustic right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, Elena knows.
Come on, Anthony. I know you have it in you.
She knows that anytime you got this mic in front of you, it's an opportunity, is it not? Opportunity is being presented to you.
Yeah.
And like you said, you never know who's out there listening.
Exactly.
Somebody could be like, oh, I got to have this
A
kid.
talent scout or a voiceover person?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Listen, they have great people listening to them every day. This is all opportunity. But you're like putting it in the toilet.
Isn't that good
Flushing it
that
away.
you learn from your mentors?
Yes, that's what I said. I can't yell at my boss. So.
Okay, I think she's right. Let's hear it in the voices.
All right, well, this one's going to be deep. I guess I'll do the deep voice.
Just tell us in advance which voices you're going to do.
There's going to be. What should I do? I guess I'll do Connery first.
And do it like verse by verse. We don't need.
I was going to do Richard Nixon.
Cool.
Randy Savage, obviously Dusty Rhodes, my mother.
Shout out to Mom.
Just all like I'm going to cut it all together and make it sound great.
The greatest
Turn it
hits.
down a little bit.
Oh, down.
Yeah. Keeps over-modulating.
I'm Italian.
Yeah.
It's a blessing and a burden.
Okay.
So, all right, let's hear and please move from voice to voice as the song goes on. We don't want to hear the song.
That's fine. I can do
Hot
that.
Dog is here today.
Oh, yeah, yours.
H to the Dzo's here?
Do you want in?
No.
No. No. Hold on, Tom.
No.
No, don't worry, we don't need you.
He just walked right out too.
Thank you for the hookup there, Troy.
Okay, so yeah.
I'll do it in my in like a whiny voice so that you can see the range.
Okay. I thought you did it in a whiny voice the last time.
No. This is like it's gonna be, like this.
That's your mom. So you're gonna do Randy Savage, Dusty Rhodes,
my mother,
Sean Connery,
Richard Nixon.
Who else?
And then that's it. It's gonna be 6 of them just so they can kind of flow together organically.
That sounds organic.
Let's hear it. Go on now.
Where's Don Pardo?
You're the shit bag. You're the shit bag of the week. You're the shit bag. You're the shit bag of the week. What this means is that you fucking suck. You embarrassed yourself now because you don't know how the fuck to act. You're the shit bag of the week.
You're supposed to switch the voices.
Switch the voices.
What this means is that you fucking suck.
Oh, you're supposed to switch the voices.
It's gonna be. It's like I want to do it all like.
But we asked you to go from voice to voice, so we didn't have to hear the song over and over.
Yeah,
again.
you got to do a couple of lines as this person for that performance.
Okay. How did you feel about that?
Here she goes.
And wasn't Don
Bury me
Pardo
more.
supposed to like introduce it?
Yeah, you have so much potential, and you just like it's falling flat.
Thank you, boss. I appreciate it, boss.
The intern is letting you know that your bit's falling flat, Anthony.
We're so excited, so ready for you to just wow us.
Yeah.
And we're not.
You don't think he's wowing anybody?
No, I love the lyrics. Great stuff. Heard it the first time. I want something different this time. I wanted it to be changed, but it is what it is.
He didn't go from voice to voice, did he?
And we talked about it before.
Yeah. We did discuss it right before, and he pretty much ignored the instructions.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. He did.
That's okay.
I
It's
mean,
fine.
I don't even. Do we have him do it again?
You know, I would just lift your mic up a little bit. I would say, yeah, we should, but he should do it right now. He knows what everybody wants. He knows what
now
everyone
listen,
wants.
I'm a man of the people.
If
Now
you
I get
mess
it.
it up, I swear to God, I need a new mentor. I swear.
I'm not your. Oh, never mind.
I mean,
you are.
You are.
Am I? I thought that was.
Listen.
Why wouldn't you be her mentor?
Because I thought Travis. She called Travis Yoda yesterday.
A mentor is a. You can have multiple. Why would she not look up to a person?
No, he was talking. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Yoda. So Yoda bitch of visit was talking about mother.
Oh shit.
Why wouldn't she look up to you?
Nah, she can look up to me.
You look up
I'm not
to
going to
her.
give her any advice. She's mean to me now. All of a sudden,
I mean-
off the air, she's all bubbly and
She's trying to
hey, you're
help.
the
She's
best.
not-
I love you. And now she's just not.
You just
She's
not
not being mean.
it.
She's not being mean. She's correct in her
I
assessment.
want more of you. I know you can do better. That's why I'm pushing because I know you can do better.
See?
I believe in you.
She's encouraging you.
Yeah.
Right.
Go ahead,
She's
Anthony.
being a good mentor.
Very passive.
And now it's time for the Jim and Sam Show's Shitbag of the Week.
You're a shit bag. You're the shit bag of the week. You're the shit bag. You're the shit bag of the week. What this means is that you fucking suck. You embarrassed yourself now. Because you don't know how the fuck to act, baby. You're the shit bag of the week. I gotta do it better.
No, I loved it. That
Chip,
was great.
what'd you think, Chip?
Who was the last one?
It's Dusty Rhodes, but it was a rushed. I have to hear the melody in my head. I can't. If I don't know where I am, I lose it.
No excuses.
That didn't sound like Dusty.
Yes, it did.
Why'd you make him say fuck? Dusty didn't curse.
Well, but that's what the words are. Dusty would have read anything that,
He didn't
was on the
curse.
promo.
I never heard Dusty say fuck. He
Because he wasn't in the Attitude Era.
didn't say fuck in the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to work on it, damn it. It's going to be great.
You might have to go back to the drawing board.
Oh, don't say that to me.
You think maybe
Don't
starting
say
from
that.
Yeah, I think you should just scratch that and start over.
You think so, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Let's hear what you got tomorrow. Try something else.
Yeah, she came up with 7 pages in one night. You could definitely come up with another verse.
Yeah, you wrote
Okay,
a
I can
song
come up with
like
another verse.
You wrote a song like 2 weeks ago. You haven't recorded it yet.
Did you like the fact that you're the shit bag?
It's not lyrics. Like it's just made up.
But it goes with the melody.
I know, but it's just the same word over and over again.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I could also
Kind of like all the single ladies.
It's like Take on Me.
right, but all the single bag, shit bag, shit bag.
Yeah, same thing.
You see how like
She won a Grammy for that.
but no, she didn't use those lyrics though.
We have an interesting question coming in.
Oh, okay.
And I would like to know the answer to this. Sam, I'd like your opinion. Shane in Indiana, good question.
Hey, I got a couple quick questions for the new intern. Is it Eileen?
Alina.
Alina.
Okay, real quick. How can you fight, and what are you going to do when Mary Jean comes in the studio?
What?
Listen, we do have an on the street reporter
Cool.
named Mary Jean.
Pretty.
Yeah, and she's a beautiful woman, but she doesn't necessarily love Jim and myself giving other females attention. We had 2 porn. She's a pornography star.
Cool.
Right, and we had another porno star on with her, and she started a fist fight with her.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so
That's me and Mary Jean.
Gorgeous.
That was awesome to watch.
She started a fist fight with her. So so the question is would you stand up for your spot?
No.
You wouldn't fight her?
She has seniority.
Isn't that respectful?
See?
Isn't that respectful?
That's what you like. That's,
right.
Yeah.
And
Not a wrong answer yet.
And if she's willing to fight, you're like, no, you've earned that respect.
Yeah, of course.
Whereas if somebody does have seniority, but is like, whatever you want, like, what choice do you have?
Yeah.
Right. I get that.
do that?
I get that. Only the shit
an
bag.
asshole.
Only the
Only
shit
the shit bag of the week would do that.
shit bag of the week.
I wonder if you would do effective person on the street interviews.
Maybe.
Have you ever thought about that? You're very bubbly and you make a good first impression. What are you fucking talking about?
You're not shy.
I am.
Why-
Next question.
Oh, God. Forgot he was still here. Sorry. Yeah, Shane.
Sorry. Next question is Sammy and Travis are out because they are married. So that leaves Jimmy, Troy, and Lionel Bitchy.
Amazing name.
3 boys and 3 holes. Who's filling which?
Okay, that's a great new version of the Mary Fuck Kill game.
That's
Who
true.
fills which hole?
Thank you very much, Shane. Fair question.
Let's see.
We're talking mouth, vagina, and butt.
We're talking hot dog, or like who is it? It's
Hot dog wasn't included. It was
Anthony?
Lionel Bitchy,
Sure.
Jim Norton, and DJ Troy Kwan.
Okay.
I mean, we already know about hot dog.
Yeah. He's on the side watching.
Yes. That had to hurt.
You're the
You think
host,
so?
so you get to pick anywhere.
No. You have to just.
I like that thought though. But you have to.
But
shoot.
that's not a fair play of the game.
Like, I don't know if you want me to bow down to the host, and be in the
No,
back.
whatever is for you. For you, if
For
whatever
you.
would your thing be in that scenario.
Right. And it's all at the same time, by the way.
Oh, of course.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Duh.
a machine. One woman machine.
Right.
I do need to see penis size because I want to know, like, if which one hurt more, the butt or not.
You can assume. Why don't you just use your imagination? Like, the guys.
Okay.
I think you can assume who would probably fit in the
Can
butt.
I give Anthony a hand job? Because he's like
Why would you give me?
You just want to give him a hand job? You don't want him clogging any of your holes with his weak energy?
I just feel like you haven't earned like even a thought for a hole yet.
Oh my God! Wow! Oh, that's really. Troy's barely said a word to her, and he's earned a thought for a hole.
He has tattoos.
Congrats! Troy conducts himself with a masculine energy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Chill.
You want masculine energy in those holes,
In my story, he's the cool guy.
right?
In the
Yeah.
story.
He
Yeah,
is the
yeah,
coolest
yeah.
of
Yeah,
all
yeah,
of us.
yeah.
I think so.
You guys can Eiffel Tower me. I think you should be in the back, though.
So,
Yeah, that's understandable. Troy's probably more pleasant to look at. If I was her, I would have me in the back too. That's not a bad move.
So Troy gets the mouth, Jim gets from behind, and Anthony is sitting there with hot dog with the popcorn.
Troy gets the vagina. He gets the ass, and then mouth's open just to moan because it's gonna be good. You know?
I got you. And
Yeah.
so you're actually Anthony. Not only he doesn't get a hole at all.
No hole. High five.
No high five.
I bet you give her a high five while she was getting double plugged by your coworkers.
Can
Yeah.
I get you anything? Or do you need anything?
You would.
Wipe the sweat off our heads.
Yeah. Do you mind your positioning?
No, I'd prefer the mouth just because Troy's in the vagina, and I wouldn't want our penises rubbing together.
Your balls
But
would
it's
definitely
Eiffel
clap
Tower.
back.
You just go like this in Eiffel Tower.
The Eiffel Tower's one in the front, one in the back.
Yeah,
though.
you can't.
Yeah.
You have to Eiffel Tower in the mouth.
Oh, I
and
see.
from
I
behind.
see. Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's
yeah.
acceptable.
We'll go see Paris. You can Snapchat it. Go into
Okay.
Paris.
So I think John Lithgow's here.
Yeah, he's ready, but we should probably
We'll ask him. We said one hole's open, John.
we should probably take a quick single.
A quick single? All right, we'll take a quick single. A good job, and we'll tomorrow read the script, and we'll have Hot Dog in or Denny. And Anthony, let's have more for that song.
You're the shit.
No, not now. Tomorrow. All right, and we'll be right back with John Lithgow and then Laura Prepon. In the break, we figured out Anthony's mic and even Alina's mic. I was on the levels, and there is something wrong with these mics because Anthony was either overmodulating or he sounded tinny and like you couldn't hear him. And her mic is a lot of times, that guest mic is not that good.
Yeah.
And you've noticed that a lot of times it cuts out on people and it's just not that good?
My mic cuts out.
Your mic cuts out, but that one, it seems like if they move
Just
their
a
head
little
an inch,
weaker.
it's
Yeah.
weak.
Yeah.
So I was like fixing my headphone volume. Am I not hearing Anthony? Then I'm turning him up too loud. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
So they said John Lithgow was. I thought he was ready.
I liked it. That was funny. Your instincts were to like fuck with your headphone volume. It's like
well,
no,
because
it's
I
all our
wasn't hearing
headphones.
it, so I wanted to make sure I was hearing it correctly. I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe it's just because it sounded too low to me.
You gotta take control of all those buttons now. It's becoming a much more. If the mics are no good, then all those buttons become actually something you have to deal with.
Well, how about fixing the mics?
You can get a robot to do robot to do the levels.
Yeah, of course you can.
But no. Why would you?
Because it's better than a human.
No, lots of people need board op jobs. Hot dogs are board op. Everybody needs board op jobs.
We'll figure something out.
I'm not a board op. I'm a board robot.
Board bot. You could have said.
Yeah,
it's an extra syllable.
I'm a board bot.
Yeah, then it would have been clever, but like extra syllable just adds nothing. Just adds nothing.
Hold on.
Okay.
Car crash. Haha. Haha.
I guess the Comey hearings are starting. I'm all excited about them because all the news networks are.
They already fucking put his testimony out.
Isn't that crazy? Like they really did. It's already out there.
But that's just his opening statement. I mean, he's still going to be questioned.
Right.
Oh, you know what? Okay, Travis, you're right. I didn't realize that was his opening statement. I thought those were the questions he was going to answer.
No, but they've been
get those in advance.
They've been counting that down for 2 days now. Like I watched like the news networks, and it's like 36 hours until the Comey hearing.
Why wouldn't he?
I wanted to
clear
put it in
Trump
prime
publicly.
time.
Like if you're not investigating the president, why was he unwilling to say that publicly? I'm curious. I don't understand the thing. Oh, John Lithgow's here. We'll ask him.
He'll know.
Yes, he will.
He'll know. He's a smart man. I like him. John Lithgow, welcome back.
Hi, John.
How are you,
guys?
Good to see you.
How you doing?
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Good to see you, sir.
Welcome
Come back.
Don't get into that chair.
Welcome back.
Have a seat, man. How's everything going?
I'm exhausted.
Are you?
Yeah, no, everything's going great.
Congratulations on your show got picked up for a second season.
Yeah.
Is that why you're exhausted? You were like, I thought this was going to be a one-season deal. Now I got to go back to work.
No, that's the last thing on my mind right now.
Doing the second season of the show just because everything is...
No, it's just been a heavy press week for this film.
Yeah.
You don't panic, though, when you do a show? Like, do you go through the thing, like, are they going to pick it up, are they not going to pick it up? Or do you just kind of, are you comfortable just letting it fall wherever it falls?
I think you just enjoy yourself, especially if it's comedy. You just make it as good as you can and hope for the best.
Episode by episode.
I always assumed they would pick up a Trial and Error because it's just so good.
Yeah.
Really a terrific, smart comedy.
Yeah.
It did take them a while to finally commit to it because it was a challenge, you know. Anytime breaking through to people's consciousness was something that's that different.
Yeah.
You never know whether it's going to completely work, but NBC just loved it.
And timing is important. I think one of the reasons that it worked is because like all the court stuff that goes on, like people are used to it. Like people got so wrapped up in Making a Murderer, and then they got so wrapped up in the FX OJ series last year, and they got all this stuff is like top of mind. So the idea that you could follow this along in a comedy, you know what I mean? Your minds are conditioned now to following along court drama, but just
and it worked.
Lens.
I mean, people really wanted to know. People were stopping me on the street and saying, "Come on, tell me, did you do it?" This I'd never experienced before.
Right, especially because it's a comedy, so it's like you'd think that would be an afterthought, but people really are wrapped up in the whodunit part.
They're not asking you Churchill questions. We all know how that turned out.
That's the nice thing about history. No surprise endings.
Yeah.
You are finished with The Crown, too. I don't know why it's in the prep sheet that's season 2. There's no more for you to do there.
I did do a tiny little flashback scene, but I did it over a year ago, you know. I wrapped up my participation in The Crown a year ago in February. So
wow,
they said the Queen saw it. Somebody got her to actually. One of her sons, I guess, got her to. Prince Edward told her to watch it, and she liked it. She thought a couple of her things were a little dramatized, but overall, they said she really liked it.
Well, you know more than I do. I mean, it's one of the whole ideas of the series that royals never tell. You just never know what their lives are like.
Right.
They certainly don't express opinions to the public.
Have you met any of them?
I've met Charles on 3 occasions.
We might have talked about this last time. I don't remember. My memory is really bad. Did I ask that last time, Sam?
I don't remember hearing about it.
Okay, so where did you meet him?
Well, I've been in 3 performances where he was in the audience. And at the end, there is a kind of greeting line, and you meet Charles and exchange a few kind of banal sentences with him.
What did you say to him?
Well, you just let him take the lead. And he'll comment on some completely dull aspect of what he's just seen. They're absolute experts at making inconsequential small talk.
Really?
Because they're not supposed to have an opinion on any level. They can't have you going and doing an interview and being like, you know what he really thinks.
That's right. You're never going to find him in this chair.
Right.
Chatting amiably with you about what he really thinks about anything.
Did he mention something completely
innocuous?
Yeah.
I remember once there was a big Royal Command performance in Southern California, actually, of the Royal Shakespeare Company. And I went with my wife, and when we met him at intermission, she actually engaged him about Tony Blair. This was long before anybody had heard of Tony Blair over here, but Tony Blair had been in school with Charles, and in fact had been in a play, a Shakespeare play with him. I believe I have this right. And my wife Mary actually had a genuine chat with Charles. Everybody was kind of surprised that he was opening up that much to her. My darling wife is a Montana gal and very kind of informal and loose. And at a certain point, she smacked him on the shoulder. And everybody in the, like 50 people in the room, their spines suddenly stiffened. I was so proud of her.
But he probably didn't care.
No, he was delighted. He was having such a great chat with her.
Yeah, well, that never happens. Nobody's ever got the balls to do that. So the fact
it somehow didn't occur to her that it was inappropriate.
I talked to someone, I forget who it was, but they worked with Michael Jackson. It might have been Chuck Zito or some guy. And he did something like he grabbed Michael and he hugged him. Or it might have been an actor we spoke to. And he goes, everybody was horrified because nobody touches Mike. But when you do it, they appreciate you treating them like a real person.
I remember meeting Hillary Clinton. It was not the first time I'd met her, but she was the host of the State Department dinner at the Kennedy Center Honors, which she did every year. She was Secretary of State and loved doing it. I met her and she had this huge smile, and we'd met once or twice before, and I lunged forward and kissed her on the cheek. And that was probably the least appropriate thing I'd ever done.
Yeah.
Did she react poorly to it?
No, she was beaming.
She grabbed him by the face and kissed him on the mouth.
Yeah.
No, she loved that evening.
Who was being honored?
Well, it was the 5 or 6 honorees of that year. I think Meryl Streep, Yo-Yo Ma, big heavy hitters in the arts.
What's amazing about royalty, though, is that, like you just said, there'll be a meeting line to meet Charles after your performance. Like generally,
right.
like somebody goes to a performance and they get to go back and meet you.
Yeah.
But after you're done performing, you get to go meet Charles.
But it was a big deal. There was another occasion, the big, I think, 150th celebration of the Academy of Music in Philadelphia, and she and Camilla were there, and I met Camilla on that occasion. You get very nervous knowing they're in the audience.
You do.
It's, I don't know. Somehow being conscious of anybody in the audience makes it that little bit more intense.
But most performers won't admit that. Like, you ask a performer, they're like, no, I was going to ask you if they were nervous. I didn't think you, but I'm glad to hear you say that you are.
A lot of actors don't like to be told there's anybody in the audience. It's much easier dealing with an audience if it feels completely anonymous. I remember once I was in a play, and a good friend of mine, an actor, Jonathan Pryce from England, was in the audience.
Wasn't he in Glengarry Glen Ross?
In England he was. Not here.
He wasn't in the film?
He was the engineer in Miss Saigon and won the Tony Award for it. He's a marvelous British actor. He a good friend, and Mike Nichols, the great Mike Nichols, were both in the audience. I was so conscious of them out there in the audience that at a certain point I completely went up on my words in the middle of a big argument scene, a big high point intense scene. I was suddenly completely lost.
So what did you do? How did you get back to where you're supposed to be?
The actor on stage with me, Boyd Gaines, he sort of managed to get me back on track, but it was probably about 6 seconds. It felt like about an hour of total heart attack.
And you know your peers, these great actors, are out there watching you.
Well, all
like-
you can think of is is your friends watching you.
Yeah.
Screw the pooch.
And you totally forgot the line, or you put the wrong line where you
No, just totally forgot.
You
it.
just
Suddenly,
blanked.
I didn't know where I was.
And there was nothing to do, because what are you going to just go back to the beginning of the scene?
Oh my God! It was probably an intensely dramatic moment, and in fact, nobody seemed to have noticed it.
Yeah, they probably thought it was part of the performance.
Yeah, right.
That's the best part. One of the best parts about doing radio is that like I'll get freaked out like that when I find out certain people have listened to a show, but it's not until after the show's done.
Yeah,
So I'm like, I didn't realize like you were listening to that, but I did. I'm never conscious of it as it's happening.
Yeah.
I prefer not to know. I knew De Niro was in the audience one time years ago at the Comedy Cellar, and he was back. They were doing research for something. He's in the back of the room, and I'm on stage, and I was doing a clean set because I think I had Jimmy Kimmel coming up, and I do a joke, and I hear like the ha. It was like the Max Cady laugh from the
Cape
theater.
Fear? Was it Bob De Niro?
It was him.
Oh God, how glorious!
He was in the back, but it was.
Is he smoking a cigar?
No, but it wouldn't have bothered anybody.
Perfect.
But it was his laugh, and then the next joke I tripped on and bombed because I became so aware that he had just laughed out loud.
Isn't it amazing the things that happen to your brain?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Is there anybody that you want to meet that you haven't? Because I mean, you've met so many people throughout your...
You mean in show business?
In general, I guess.
Oh, I don't know. The people I really get impressed with are fantastic athletes.
Really?
Yeah. I've still never met LeBron James. That would be a treat.
Yeah. Are you a big basketball fan, or do you just like him?
Oh, both. I just watched the basketball last night. These guys are superhuman.
I'm so bummed out though that it looks like LeBron's not going. I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but it looks like LeBron is not going to get 3-0 championship.
No, they were so close to it last night.
And you want because I want.
Has he gotten one for Cleveland?
Yeah,
no.
He has.
He did last year. Yeah.
The big,
but I want like LeBron to be this like invincible superhero Jordan level guy, but there's so many good.
We wouldn't be sports fans if things weren't at stake, though.
Right, that if you just knew, LeBron's going to get this one again.
Yeah,
I guess so. But I'm a pro wrestling fan, so I like the good guy to just keep winning and winning and winning and winning and winning.
I know the feeling.
I don't watch basketball anymore, but he's kind of interesting. I didn't know that the championship was happening until they were down 2-0. I'm like,
really?
Is that going? Yeah, I haven't paid attention.
Two unbelievable teams.
Yeah,
I mean, it's really great.
Do you go to games?
Yeah, when I can.
You can't get back to meet LeBron? You're John Lithgow.
I sat in LeBron's seats in Philadelphia once, but I never got to meet him.
Wow.
I had gotten to know his one of his team, his entourage, all in the hotel, and they got me in.
Did you ever go to Laker? I mean, the first celebrity that was known to really start going was Nicholson going to Laker games. That was the big thing. He would always be. Does he still go or no?
Well, I think he does. I'm not sure. But I'm sure I can't imagine a Laker game without him.
Would you flip out if you found out LeBron was a Harry and the Hendersons fan?
This is the kind of thing I just love. I can't even believe that these guys have even seen me. You know?
Really?
Yeah.
Because I mean, they probably half of them grew up watching
of them.
I know,
Rock.
Sure.
They all know.
I know.
They're all fans.
But you're always surprised.
Yeah.
You get surprised when people you like recognize you.
Yeah. Different worlds,
Who was the last person that you really you admired that was like, I'm just a big fan of yours?
Oh, gosh. Well, I guess Prince Charles. It's very somehow you don't picture people watching you.
Right.
I was told that Hillary and Bill were in a deep funk, quite understandably, after the election
this year.
They holed up in Chappaqua and binge watched The Crown.
Really?
I found that very touching.
Yeah, you like knowing that people watch you. It's got to be odd, but on your level, I wouldn't think you're shocked by it, but it's kind of encouraging to know that you still get surprised by it, too.
Yeah, it's... I don't know. It's a funny thing throwing it out there. You're in your own little world, or you're in a world with a bunch of other actors, and it's kind of funny to. I mean, you must experience the same thing. There are thousands of people listening to you right now, if not millions. And you don't really think of them. It's just the three of us in a room talking.
Especially on an individual. You almost think of like the audience as a group.
Yeah.
And then when you realize it's individual people who are like, no, I love the show and I listen every day and I'm a person who lives my life that way, and you're like, oh my God.
In fact, if you do think about it, it sort of freezes you up.
Yeah.
You're sort of not yourself.
When you go to like a party or there's things, do you have access to everything you want? Like I go to like a big place, there's always an area I can't get into. There's always like, oh, that's where I want to be, and I can't get in.
They're like, no, you're a pre-party guy. You're not actually.
Yeah.
I think absolutely everybody has that experience at some point. Do I really belong here? It's kind of, by the way, this is exactly Beatrice at dinner.
Yeah.
This movie that opens this week. This is the position that Salma Hayek's character.
What is it about?
It's about a dinner. As in the title, I play a billionaire real estate developer. This dinner is 3 hugely wealthy men and their 3 wives, 6 people. But by a couple of turns of plot, there's a 7th guest. And it is this Mexican immigrant physical therapist, kind of spiritual healer who takes care of the woman of the house, who has sort of gotten stuck in their house because her car breaks down and gets offhandedly invited to dinner. And it's a very curious situation, in which case rich people who are usually only communicating with each other suddenly have to deal with someone from a totally different
world. In a way.
The help.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Like, you've been to a lot of parties, and your character in the movie is like, I don't want to say racist, but certainly thinks on a...
He's the alpha guest, and he's the most powerful man in the room.
Yeah.
And he's
condescending towards immigrants, and
he's almost unconsciously superior.
Right. Have you encountered that? I'm not asking you to mention names, but is that person, that character, is that somebody that you have encountered at parties in the past?
Various times.
Yeah.
You go to parties and great big high rollers who produce films as a hobby. They'll throw a great big Oscar party, and you're at their unbelievable homes in Los Angeles that you didn't even know existed. And you suddenly realize, wow, I am out of my element here.
But so much of the Hollywood community is liberal. And so I would think that the opinions that your character had in this movie, they don't really line up with that. So is that take something that you get from rich people, in your business?
As for the movie, this is very clever film written by Mike White, directed by Miguel Arteta. It sort of deliberately throws off absolutely everybody. It takes all your expectations and upends them, so that this man, who, of course, from what you already know about the film, you assume he's the villain of the piece, but he has other aspects to him. He surprises you with how convincing he is when he's trying to persuade Beatrice of his worldview. It's really great. It's so far from being black and white, all of the different issues that get debated. I'm talking about it as if it's a very serious film. In fact, it's a very funny and ironic film that just gets extremely complicated and challenging as it goes along.
When you do something like that, like you play a guy who has to convince somebody, or you have to have a totally different opinion than you might really have, do you ever change the way you actually feel? Like, are you able to, like, when you look at it, like your job is to convince this woman of something that John Lithgow might not, but do you look at that and go, that actually is a pretty good point?
I know that it's unsettling. It's unsettling to me and to like-minded people. We all of us travel in worlds of groupthink. My friends basically have my politics and I have theirs. This character says things that are so alarming, and yet you hear it on TV. People do say these things. There's a terrific tension. You just create this kind of anxiety. The fact that a man like this will say these things with blithely, as if they're the God's truth.
How do you convince yourself when you're saying it to make it believable?
Well, you're just play acting, and you know a good script when you see one. You know the impact that a scene like that is going to have. And it's a very complex and ironic impact.
And you don't feel comfortable in those parts. I'm surprised to hear that too. Like you said, and you feel out of your element, like with those in the houses,
big rich
of those,
parties.
Yeah,
but everybody does at some point.
Because there's always somebody richer, right? Like there's like levels of richness just keep going up and up and up.
Yeah, or I go all weak kneed when I meet hotshot athletes. Because, oh my God, you're sort of breathless with admiration.
Mm-hmm. Who have you met that really kind of stopped you in your tracks?
Michael Jordan.
You met Michael?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Well, Phil Jackson is a very good friend of mine, and when he was the coach, of the Bulls, I had a great entree and met all those guys. And there was actually a moment when all the cast of Third Rock from the Sun went to Chicago to do the Oprah show, and I invoked my Phil Jackson privileges and got us all into a Bulls game. And we met them all. In fact, Dennis Rodman gave me his sweaty autographed jersey.
Do you still have it?
I think it was stolen from my hotel room. Isn't that awful?
That's
from
terrible.
the hotel.
That's amazing. A game used signed Rodman jersey,
and it was a period when he was doing that after every game.
Was it a jersey or a dress?
It was a very, very sweaty jersey. We could have proved by DNA that it was actually his. But sadly, it disappeared somewhere along the line.
Were you surprised to see him in North Korea with Kim Jong-un? Isn't it weird how things work out?
This is a crazy world.
It really is nuts.
That's what I love about acting, the fact that people will do anything.
And it exposes you to, being an athlete or being an actor exposes you to people that you should never be exposed to. Like the fact that Kim Jong-un likes him.
Right.
Like, what an odd thing that is. Him and his father were big Bulls fans.
Yeah.
And they can't get Jordan to come over, and I'm sure they can't get some of the other guys, or Pippen.
Well, I'll have to find out if he's a Third Rock fan.
Well, that's what I was about to say. I'm sure, the same, level of weirdness happens. There've got to be just odd people. They could be the most despicable people on earth, but their escape.
Yeah.
Their one happy place is watching reruns of Third Rock.
There's a sort of anthropological aspect to acting, going out and just looking at how bizarre people can be.
Yeah.
Including world-class famous people.
Yeah, you're entertaining people, some who are great and some who are terrible. That's oh my God, Paul Pot's a big fan.
You have no control over it.
I have a fan letter from Paul Pot, in fact. Joke.
I was ready to hug you. That would have been the greatest thing I've ever heard. Have you gotten weird or obsessive fan mail? I'm sure in the amount of time you've been doing it, you've in the type of roles you've had to have attracted a couple of
I've had
crazies.
A few. I don't read a lot of it. I have gotten the most wonderful responses from people on for The Crown, for the Winston Churchill performances that have just come in by email. I got an email from Dustin Hoffman out of the blue.
Wow,
whom I have met a couple of times in passing, but we're not friends. It just. That kind of thing. Really.
What did he say to you? Just how much he enjoyed you?
He says, it's not easy complimenting another actor, but I just have to. In this case, something like that. Very Dustin. But that makes you pay attention.
Not easy complimenting another actor. Do you think that's more like it's hard because it's fairly competitive, or certain guys try not to watch?
I think he was making fun of himself and all actors.
Oh,
I mean, it is we're all prone to envy. There's plenty of people who are doing things I wish I'd got, and I know the opposite is true.
Have you auditioned recently, like in the last few years, and not gotten something you've auditioned for? Or you seem to become an offer-only guy?
I haven't auditioned in years. I'm lucky that way. Sometimes I have been offered jobs, and I've said, let me come in and work with you on this. Let's audition this for each other. Just because I myself want to know whether I'm doing a workshop in a couple of weeks of a piece of work, which I just want to see whether it works or not.
You want to see if you can pull it off and if it feels right.
Yeah.
Are there times where you'll go I don't think I can do this well?
Yeah. In those cases, I turn it down.
Wow.
But, I have to say, some of the most interesting things that I've ever done, interesting for me and big breakthroughs for me, have been bright ideas other people had, which I never would have had for myself. Winston Churchill being one of them.
What was? That's not something you would have seen yourself doing.
No. It would have been.
Who came to you and said this is really something you should do?
The director himself, Stephen Daldry, who's a marvelous director. I'd always wanted to work with him. So it was like, well, if he believes in me and this job, I'm certainly not going to say no. I was scared to death to do it, but I wasn't going to turn it down.
When did you get comfortable with the role? Like, because I would imagine
as soon as I started working with the makeup and costume people,
you started to see what this is going to look like and feel like.
That really helped me. And also arriving in England and having all these English actors welcome me in like it was a great idea to have me play the part. That made an enormous difference.
So it's like once you have all these people around, it's like, look, I might be wrong, but I don't think they're all wrong.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they had more confidence in me than I had in myself.
Yeah. Were you nervous about doing the accent?
I beg pardon?
Were you nervous about having to do the accent?
Yeah, a little. I had a terrific dialect coach who was working just as much with the English actors as with me. It was a very different sound to the dialects back in the early 1950s among the royals. So there was this strong sense that we were all in this together.
And was there any part of it that was particularly hard?
The only hard acting is bad writing. And this was such brilliant writing. Peter Morgan, he wrote to Churchill's contradictions and insecurities, and his old age and his fear of growing old and losing his viability. All these great things that you can grab onto. When a writer is helping you out that much, it's not hard.
It's amazing that Prince Philip just stopped doing whatever the royal duty.
Yeah.
Like literally a few months ago, he was like
95.
95. He's like, and she's 90, and he's like, I'm done with this crap. He's just sick and tired of shaking people's hands, and so he just kind of. I guess he's retiring. Is that what that was?
That's what from those duties, yeah.
Which means no more official stuff.
Yeah, no more ribbon cutting.
So you were saying you were exhausted before because of the just the promotional tour you're on. Is it tougher now? Because I like what's happened in film in the sense that I don't like that you can't get a regular movie in theaters anymore that's not like a blockbuster action thing. But I do like that smaller movies have found a way to reach an audience, and that's through small theater release and digital release and things like that. Like those are. It's not like it used to be with straight to home video. It's viable and it's real, and you can see great films this way. But is it more difficult to spread the word about a movie like this because you need to reach the audience directly? Like I implore you to find this film.
Yeah, it's part of the bargain. You have to pitch in to help raise awareness for particularly an independent film, because they have low budgets for producing the film, but low budgets for promoting them too. Mm-hmm. And you don't get paid much to do the film, and you don't get paid anything to promote it. But you have a tremendous emotional investment, and especially a film like this, which is so fine. The industry is very interesting. Just watching the ebb and flow, the different trends. Studio filmmaking is the franchise business. My last two films were Pitch Perfect 3 and Daddy's Home 2, both out around Christmas time. Good, reliable, sequels to hugely successful films. That's kind of the studio business, not to mention the comic book franchises, which means that independent films are almost a different industry now. And yet they are esteemed even more. You don't see the franchise films nominated for Oscars except in technical areas.
Right.
None of the actors are given acting nominations. That has gradually become the purview of very small, independent, and for want of a better word, artistic films, art films, films with real aspirations, the same aspiration a playwright has, putting a play on off Broadway in New York. This and Beatrice at Dinner is just a perfect example of that.
And it comes out tomorrow in select theaters. Where's the list of ways people can find this movie?
Well, it's only in New York and L.A. for the first week, and then I think it goes much wider June 16th or something.
Okay, you can Google it.
Yeah, look for it.
And it will come out digitally, I'm sure. And that's become like one of my new favorite things to do is like iTunes or whatever it is will pop up with these movies that you've never heard of.
You'll see it before you know
find it.
It's extraordinary, the response we've gotten so far. As I say, it's hard for a little movie like this to break through. One thing that is very much in our favor is the current political situation.
Right.
Suddenly, the movie was made long before this political sea change, but as soon as November came along, the film was all done, but it suddenly was a different film.
Yeah, it meant something else.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, and the way you sold it sounds really interesting. I would like to see it.
Well, we have a sec right before you go. Did you work with John Cena on Daddy's Home too?
Oh, yeah.
How was he?
He's a great guy. And a really good actor.
Yeah.
I guess that's what wrestling does for you.
Yeah.
It turns you into a good actor. Daddy's Home 2 is going to be great. I will be back here to talk with you about that.
Definitely come back, and I'll ask you all my John Cena questions then.
Yeah. Not to mention Will Ferrell, Mark Wahlberg, and Mel Gibson. I mean, it's sensational.
All right, we got a lot to talk about then.
Sensationally.
All right, we'll see you next time. And it's called Beatrice. Am I saying it right?
Beatrice.
Beatrice at Dinner.
But you're the only person who's pronounced it right.
I did.
Just because I told you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. I listened to you and I just repeated what you said immediately. I parroted it. It's in select theaters tomorrow in New York and LA, and then June 6th it comes out in wider release. And John Lithgow on Twitter. Am I saying it wrong?
Yeah, Lithgow. But
Lithgow. Yeah, I am saying it wrong. John Lithgow.
And you can pronounce it any way you like except Kelsey Grammer.
Oh, yeah. Well, you turn that role down.
Oh, well, let's not
Good
go
for
there.
you. Yeah. Good for you. Big problem with Kelsey and John. We'll talk about that next time, too. All right. We'll be back in a minute. We have Laura Prepon coming in next. I love John Lithgow.
He's great.
He's just a nice man.
I love that he...
he's a bigger guy than you think he is, too. He's a big dude.
Yeah, he's very, very tall. I love that he just wants to hang out with LeBron.
Yeah.
Cool. You wouldn't think that a guy like that, I feel like if I was John Lithgow, I would really just be focusing on John Lithgow shit and letting everybody kiss my ass. I really wouldn't be a fan of anyone. I'd be like, in case you haven't noticed, I did Harry and the Hendersons, so you can lick my dick. But instead of that, he's like, yeah, LeBron James is the man.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible.
He is, and it was interesting hearing him. Tell Roland he can bring in Laura.
Roland, you can bring in Laura.
He's peeking through the curtain.
He is. He just wants to see what's going on.
He does.
He doesn't want anything happening without him.
He's like a big, stupid animal.
That's a really unflattering description.
He's just a clumsy, curious ox.
He would hate that. He would hate that description of himself. Big, stupid animal.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
That is terrible.
Yeah, just a slovenly lummox.
Troy, these are not flattering descriptions. You were saying anything about Roland?
Bring her in, please. We got to.
They're taking pictures out there.
They're taking photos.
What's that other movie John Cena's doing? Ferdinand the Bull?
Yeah.
That's kind of like Roland.
He's lovable. Roland's showing his ass to us.
Yeah.
He's tired of your lip, Jim.
How many pictures are they going to take? What the fuck are they doing? We're on the radio.
They're making a slideshow, bro.
I assume it's Getty.
It's
all right, we'll do it after.
They're doing a manual.
I like my picture, so I do understand that.
They're doing manual photo burst.
Yeah, dude. Hi. Thank you.
There
Hello.
she is.
Hi.
How are you?
Laura, welcome.
Where's Steel Panther? They were here last time.
Oh, they were. You want to
Sit down here.
Okay.
Yeah. Welcome to the show.
Well, you were here with Steel Panther, okay.
Yes, they were. Well, I mean, you guys interviewed a lot of people, but they were sitting right here and they sang.
That's right.
And yeah, anyway, okay. Hi.
Wow, how far along are you?
8 months.
Wow.
Wouldn't it have been awkward if she was like, I'm not?
I was willing to take that chance. I was willing to take that chance.
What's weird is, so we didn't tell anybody when we were at Sundance and I was like 3 months pregnant. And I literally, I hadn't even told my mom yet. We're not rolling.
We are, yeah.
We are rolling. Oh, we are? Oh, hi.
yeah.
And I literally, like, walked out of a restaurant and turned like this. And there was a tiny little bump. And they're like, Laura Prebunt's pregnant. And, blah, blah. And I'm like, what if I just, like, had 2 slices of pizza and it was bloated up or something?
It was probably before they should have been comfortable saying it.
But it's just like,
That's what they were saying to Halle Berry. Like, there was all these photos of her, I think on Monday. And she was like holding her stomach and she had like a little belly. And they were like, oh, Halle Berry's pregnant. And then she had to come out the next day and be like, I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
pregnant.
I know it's kind of awkward, but anyway, it doesn't matter. But yes, I actually am. Pregnant.
Well, at what point is it appropriate for people to start saying
I think by like this point, it's like you're it's kind of a given.
There's no way I could be wrong because her face, her hair, everything is too thin for it not to be pregnant. Like, it has to be.
Oh well, thank you, because I feel like it's kind of like
we were at my place over the weekend with we just had a baby.
Oh,
we have a 3-month-old.
congrats.
Yeah. Thank you. And I was there with my wife. And we were taking a photo, and my dad, my uncouth, tactless father,
amazing,
goes, "Jess, you're not pregnant again, are you?"
Oh, not cool, man.
Jess was like, "No,
oh no,
no,
like,
I'm not
I
pregnant."
just had a kid 3 months ago.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, Dad," and so of course, my dad's not exactly, he's not the thinnest man anymore. He's an older guy, and so when we went back over to pick up the baby, my Jess was like, "Oh, Jerry, you're not pregnant, are you?"
Oh, amazing.
He's like, "No."
So he understood the error of his ways?
He did. She pointed it out to him.
I wanted to ask you, too, I don't know if we talked about this last time, but about the film Carla you did, about Carla. I don't think we talked about that. And they got like a lot of, you played a role. And were you surprised when you played it, the backlash for you simply playing a role? Her and her husband were killers in Canada, people don't know.
Yeah, that was one of those things where like I was on 70s for a while at that point. You kind of want to do something very completely different. And I had, read the story. I was familiar with the story, and I thought it was pretty fascinating to figure out, like, how do you actually get into someone's head who would actually do something like that? And as an actor, that's the challenge,
right?
That's what we do. I thought it was really interesting, but yeah, I did that. I don't need to do that again. You know what I mean? But because it's really tough, doing a movie like that.
Do you regret it?
No, I don't regret anything. Everything's always a learning experience. But at this point in my life, that kind of subject matter is not really something that I want around me. But it was a story that was told, and it was a crazy story, and people should know about the story because it's like it's dangerous. And
how did you get into the headspace? How do you make yourself be so opposite from who you are?
You try to find little things that you can use to, relate in some way to a person like that. But yeah, God, I did that so long ago. I've done so many roles since then. I'm trying to remember what I did to get in that headspace, but it's not a fun place to be. I'll tell you that.
Well, you have to humanize the person. Like, this guys that play Hitler, and it's like, how do you humanize this person so you're not just playing this character, this caricature? Yeah,
it's funny because a lot of people who play, like, if you talk to different actors who play like bad guys or the villain or whatever, like, the villains that I tend to love are like these people who love being villains. Like, when you think of like Heath Ledger as the Joker or something, it's like he loved being like that, that kind of character you love portraying. And those are the kind of villains that I like, where because people aren't like, I'm a bad person. You know what I mean? They actually don't.
Right.
And that's one of as an actor, it's like, if people are like, I'm doing something that's actually really bad, I don't think they'd be able to exist, truthfully. So you have to kind of find ways to love what you're doing, you know what I mean, and bring life to it in that way, because when people are being bad, I think that it's so justified in their minds that they don't really know.
That's right. Yeah, how do you play somebody and like, because whoever's a piece of shit, they never think they're a piece of shit.
Well, how do they justify it?
How do you play someone and justify it the way they justify it so it seems believable?
Figure out what their thing is.
That's what's so interesting that's what's so cool about our job, is like you get to kind of figure those things out. You know what I mean?
But a lot of that was just to kind of shake off that 70s show, like to get out of that space.
The 70s show was incredible. Playing that character on that show with that cast and crew, it was just, it's like a dream, you know? But yeah, as an actor, you're like, okay, cool, I want to go the complete opposite way, you know what I mean? So it was just one of those, choices where I was like, cool, did that, and then it was over, and then I was like, cool, what's the next one? You know what I
Right,
mean? Like
right.
it was just one of those experiences, and then moving on, and then you play a bunch of other different people, you know, like. Alex is a manipulative drug smuggling lesbian on Orange, you know? So it's like, you know, whatever. But it's great. I'm fortunate to be able to play all these different women.
And it premieres, by the way, season 5 of Orange is the New Black premieres. Season 5 is available on Netflix tomorrow.
Yeah,
you can just go get the whole season.
It's amazing timing. Netflix is so smart because they give people enough time to like binge House of Cards, and then when they're going like, oh, I need more House of Cards, they're like, we got new Orange is the New Black. And it's like, okay, all right. Are you kind of mind blown at how successful it's been on Netflix? Because I was talking to the guy, I brought up House of Cards because I was talking to the guy who plays Stamper a couple weeks ago when he was promoting that. And like you guys and House of Cards were the two kind of trial shows. Like when Orange is the New Black came out, first of all, you know, I think most people just turn it on going, I don't know what this is, and just kind of tried it. But the Netflix model of, you know, original series being put out a season at a time on Netflix or Amazon or wherever it is, wasn't really done yet.
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing is like when I first got the script for Orange, the only show that'd been out streaming really was a show called Lilyhammer.
Right, I remember that.
With Steven Van Zandt.
Yes, exactly. And, you know, but no one, they're like streaming. What is this like streaming thing? And House of Cards hadn't come out yet.
Right.
So when I got the script for Orange, I loved it so much. And the character of Alex was such a badass. I'm like, I have to play this woman. And, you know, for me, I'm material driven. So, you know, based on the material and the fact that Alex was so kick-ass, I'm like, I got to do this. And you knew that it was something special. Like, you just knew when you read the pilot, it was something special. But then you can only hope that a project you do has the rocket like success that Orange had. I mean, it literally was like catching lightning in a bottle. Like this show, and also it's just the timing with what was going on, you know, in the world at that time. You know what I mean? Like in terms of, there's not a lot of other shows at the time that were portraying same-sex relationships, that were taking up issues like, you know, transgender and all these, you know, Black Lives Matter. I mean, we took up all of these things that nobody was really talking about at the time. And since then, a lot of people are talking about.
Right.
And it was just very timely and perfect. And we went there and we weren't scared to really tell these stories. And people really responded to it. And it was just like that thing that was just right time, right place, right moment. You know, right kind of characters.
Yeah, I mean, look at the figure that Laverne Cox has become just in sort of the national, international dialect.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Totally. And before our show, I mean, you know, there wasn't really a lot of that. So, and even, you know, when you have the same-sex marriage being passed, like all of these things were all kind of coincided with the success of Orange. So it's wonderful. It's an incredible thing to be a part of a show where you're not just an actor, you know, showing up and doing your job. It's like it's a bigger thing, and it speaks to bigger things, and people are very, very affected by the show, which is amazing. I mean, it does have its downside too, but
what's the downside?
Well, meaning like, you know, because the show speaks to such bigger issues, you're not just actors on a show. Like it becomes a bigger thing.
You
where
have a responsibility now.
Yeah, and even besides that, in terms of like being in the public eye, it's a different kind of thing. It's not just like, oh, cool, man, like nice show. It's just like it affects people at such a profound level that sometimes it can get a little.
Well, do you feel like you're dragged into a conversation you don't necessarily want to be a part of? Like, publicly dragged into, like, if you're talking about trans issues, where like, hey, we're just doing a show, and then all of a sudden we're dragged into this real conversation.
I mean, it's a really interesting place to be. It's like, it's at the end of the day, it's literally, you know, the fact that we're taking up these issues and that nothing is taboo for Jenji Kohan, who created the show. It's awesome. It really is awesome. But with any time you're in the spotlight, or, you know, people recognize you, there's always a positive and a downside, you know, in terms of privacy issues and things like that.
Yeah.
But But the show is amazing. This year's awesome. I actually directed an episode this season, which I'm really excited about. I've been wanting to direct the show for a while. I was like, Genji, give me a shot. And it was incredible. And I'm already directing next season as well. So
was it easier or harder than you thought it would be?
You know, I've been directing for a while. And I knew that when I direct, I'm like a duck in water. I just love it. And that's exactly how it was. It was just like, got the script. It was amazing. And directing these women. And I had to also direct myself. And when you guys if you guys do see the episode I directed, it was crazy.
Which episode
with the
number is
number
it?
10.
Okay.
Number 10. But with what my character had to go through in that episode and direct, it was hilarious. And I can't really give it away, but when you see it. But it was amazing.
The show got really fucking dark last season. And it was kind of, even though it was a jail show, it was always kind of a fun show.
Yeah.
And then it was like not fun. It was a dark
dude,
show.
the first episode of last season, I kill a dude.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
And it only just continually just like,
I know. It's, you know.
Did you like how dark the show got just because it was something different, or was it kind of scary?
I thought last year, I mean, all of our seasons are great, but I personally thought that season 4 was one of our best seasons, truthfully. I thought it was fantastic with everything that was going on. I personally also loved my storyline in that. And I thought a lot of the girls got to shine in incredible ways.
It was like a reminder that, no, this is taking place in a jail.
Yeah,
exactly. I think you guys have been having too much fun watching
this. But
this.
I think that we really walk that line well of like, you know, and it's funny too, because even when we're filming, it's like, yeah, we film in a prison setting. You need to have those moments of levity. And I think and like people who come visit our set, they're like, wow, your set's so much fun. And I think it's because, you know, and also on the show as well, which is why the writers who are awesome, they have to bring this comedy in, because if you don't have these moments of levity, it's just depressing.
Yeah.
And in real life, you have moments of levity like that. And I do feel like we walked that line really well. And even in season 5, like it's, you know, it's intense. It's, you know, there's a riot happening and it takes place over 3 days. And
the whole season takes place over 3 days, right?
Yeah.
Which is kind of another risk.
Yeah. And it is totally. But, and it's crazy because you see what happens when there's no order, when there's no authority and no order and there's a riot. You see what manifests in people's personalities, and like, does it become like Lord of the Flies, or do people like become efficient leaders? You know what I mean? Like, it's very interesting to see the different characters and how and what manifests in an environment with literally no control.
It's another reason why Netflix is so great, because I was watching their hostage documentary series.
Yeah, that's really good.
The first one was about a prison riot when the inmates take over the prison.
Which one? I've seen that episode. I forget where it was, where they have the inmate negotiators.
Yes,
and they're talking, and then everybody starts ratting on each other at the end.
Yeah, but all of a sudden, because of that, the docu show, whatever, I'm now way more interested in this sort of concept of prison riots. And
it's crazy. I mean, and we, you know, and again, with our show being so timely, I mean, we talk about all of that. We get into all of that. And it's also, you know, it's a female prison, so it's as you guys know. So it's interesting to see how these women kind of what they do.
So at the same time that the new season of Orange is the New Black is coming out, you've also got a movie coming out.
Yeah, the same day.
Same day.
Tomorrow, tomorrow.
Called The Hero with Sam Elliott.
He rocks. God, he rocks.
I don't know what this is about.
It's a movie that I did with Sam Elliott. It comes out tomorrow, and he is just like, he plays this kind of like Western icon actor.
I don't want to spoil too much, but there's like a love story element to it, and I mean, and I think this question would pop up in every single person's mind. What is it like to make out with that mustache? Because there is a love scene between Sam and Laura.
Yes, we play love interest in the movie.
Separated by, you know, whatever it is.
Because he's 72
years.
or you know. But the cool thing about the movie is like it works. Like when you watch. Sam and I have amazing chemistry. Like right when I met him, I'm like, this is going to be great. Like we just knew right away. And that's that X factor that you always hope and pray is going to be there.
Especially for a movie like this, where it's pretty reliant on the chemistry.
The whole thing, totally. And the same thing happened with Taylor when I first did Orange. Is right when we got together, the chemistry was so incredible. Like, this is going to be great. And then there's other times you do a movie where you're just like, oh my God, what am I going to do? There's like, no, there's nothing here.
And there's no way to fix that, right? Lack of chemistry.
It's when you have that extra X factor, you can feel it. And when it's not there, I'm sure you guys have seen projects where you're like, nah, it kind of fell flat for me. It's because you can try to put that thing there as much as you possibly can, but it's missing that magic. But yeah, Sam and I.
Seriously though, what's it like to make out with that giant mustache?
It was awesome. I mean,
have you ever made out with a guy with a mustache that big before?
Yeah, my fiance has a mustache.
But that big of a mustache?
I mean, Sam's mustache. We actually joke around that it's called mustacting, where like he's acting, but it's sometimes just like a mustache, like moving a little bit. And his hair. Can we talk about his hair?
It's amazing.
Full head of silver fox.
I'm very, very envious
hair.
of it. Yeah.
I mean. But yeah, it was the scenes like that with Sam were wonderful. He's very respectful and lovely, and he's a little heartthrob.
Are guys supposed to use tongue when they kiss on screen? I have to ask that. I don't know what the rule is.
Supposed to.
I mean, does that feel natural to not use tongue when you kiss somebody on screen?
You know what's so funny is like people ask me that because the other thing too is Sam's real life wife, Catherine Ross, is in the movie playing his ex-wife.
Oh.
And people were like, is that weird? And it's like, no, we're actors. It's like what we do. But the thing is what's funny is when you're doing a scene like that, there's so much technical stuff like the camera, where the camera is and the lighting and showing this or that or what body part and blah, blah, blah. And there's all this stuff in your head where you're trying to act naturally, really be there presently for your fellow actor. You're doing the scene already with 40 people like sitting around like, hey, like, you know what I mean? Like this awkward thing. You really like the last thing I'm really thinking about is like, is there or is there not tongue happening right now? I'm just trying to be present and like here for, my co-star. But, yeah, it hasn't really been an issue.
Okay. I was just curious.
Yeah, it's not like...
You get some of that Sam Elliott tongue?
It's not like use tongue or don't. You know what I mean? Like, I honestly can't even tell you... Like, I don't even know, truthfully, because you're thinking about 100 different things.
We have to wrap up because we're going to get cut off.
Okay.
We're not doing it. We're doubling out? Oh, okay.
Oh, we have to.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. So I wanted to promote you probably.
Thank
Orange
you.
is the New Black comes out tomorrow on Netflix, and your film?
The Hero comes out tomorrow as well. She plays a comic in the movie. Too.
I do. I play stand-up.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ali Wong helped me a lot.
Yeah. They use real comics in the movie.
Oh, okay.
In like the comedy scenes. It's a good movie. It's called The Hero, and you can find it, see if it's playing in your area, and it takes a lot of turns that you don't necessarily see coming.
Wonderful.
It's unconventional.
We have Sam Elliott tomorrow, too, so we're going to talk to him.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
He's so awesome. You guys will love him.
All right,
I'm going to ask him the same questions about making out with you, so we'll see if he liked it as much.
Yeah, I tell him I slipped him the tongue. So.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Laura.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.